What is up? What is up, good people? What is up, good people? We are back in the building. We are back in the building. Shout out to Christian, just came right through, said Jalen from Detroit too. You can't give these people an inch. You would know. You would know. I'm probably gonna play the clip that we did when we was talking about you putting single mothers out on the street. We'll probably have to probably have to play that. But welcome back, everybody. We're about to be getting into this. Got a number of things on the table. We're going to be talking about Jalen Rose putting his sister out on the street. Well, I don't know if he put her out on the street, but I know there was a viral moment where she went off. She was popping off on him because the house that she had been living in that he bought for his mom, the mom died a year ago. He's selling the house for whatever reason, and she like, nah, this she like this is my shit, So that's essentially what's going on there. We're going to be talking about a number of other things. Brian Kemp basically is doing a political strategy to look like he's been listening to the Black Manosphere, taking our advice, and a number of things. The little short that I made last night that got a little bit of traction last night about the substitute teacher who got removed for simply stating that Black women need to raise their boys to be men, or something of the lines like that, saying these boys are picking up too much of their mother's traits, saying she got a lot of sassy feminine boys that you teaching at school and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. That's the layout of the show. So without further ado, let's get ready. Let's roll the intro. Let's get ready to go. As soon as I find the intro, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What's going on, good people? Welcome to the show. Appreciate each and every one of you in the building. Shout out to those that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. E Capone in the building says, I don't trust this. He says, I don't trust his hair. I use that picture pretty much give or take on purpose, because a necessary discussion is worth being had about that man's hairline. He do got the best hair in the business. It was set up in a way to where it's looking as if it was like fried, dyed, laid to the side, like he had put some rollers in there, put some curlers in there, But what the hell? I'm getting a phone call from my son. Hold on, this might be an emergency. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Hello. All right. Hopefully, I couldn't read my lips. If it looked like I was saying curse words, that wasn't happening. If I don't care how good you are at reading lips, I did not cuss my son out for calling me when he knew I was on the air, or calling me about something frivolous when he knew I was on the air. No matter how good you are at reading lips, that's not what happened. All right. Educated, uneducated lame in the building says, "See you strong and independent." Christian Hutchinson in the building says, "Jalen from Detroit too." Yes, he is. He says, "You can't even give these people an inch." Yes, Christian would definitely know. Christian would definitely know that. Christian would definitely know that. We're gonna have to probably play a clip of that. Probably gonna have to play a clip of that. But the Dark Knight mentality in the building says, "Peace." It says, "This will be the first time I've caught the intro in months." You got to get up, got to get on up, get up bright and early. Shout out to Christian once again. Says, "Hang out with Bernard Riley and a few Black Manosphere bros at Barcade, Detroit for games, drinks, October 17th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. No cover charge or free fees. More info here at Evite. Yes, click on the Evite link. If you're in the Detroit area and you're interested in coming on through, hanging out, you come interested in coming on through, hanging out, by all means, come on through. We do it monthly here in the Detroit area. Well, we do it monthly in Detroit. So if you're in the Detroit area, by all means, come on through. Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel. That sounds like a good channel. I may need to check that out. Manny G, Hoop Jargon, Jackie Jack, Ari Nicole says, "Be nice to him." Body Thug in the building. Who we got? Electrician 480. All right, I think I made it down to the bottom. Shout it out, everybody. All right, cool. Yeah, that we about to dig into this. We about to dig. Oh shit, what Weather talking about? I don't even know why I still read his messages. He said Jalen needs to grow up. He's almost 50, and look how he dresses and how he acts. What's wrong with how he act? And what's wrong with how he dress? Now that hair do look painted on. That hair is worthy of some criticism. I'm not going to deny that one. But how he dress and how he acts, dare I say that Weather is once again running interference for the Strag, running interference for the sisterhood, trying to deflect the attention from the story that I'm talking about here to simply try to point out that something is wrong with how this man looks or how this man dresses or how this man acts, to distract from the attention of what I'm highlighting here. You do the same thing that when random chicks pull up in the chat room and do what I'd call trying to bump the chess table. We're playing chess here, and then a chick always want to come through in the chat room and like and just bump the table with her hip. Just bow, give it a nice hip bump and knock over the pieces, and then have us, trying to scramble and pick the pieces back up, and hopefully we don't remember where we was at or what we was talking about. That's what Weather coming here doing the female tactic of just, I call it bumping the table. That's what he's doing. That's what Weather coming here doing. He says Jalen stole a piece of Sinji's bang. No. His stuff looking way better than hers. If he got on a wig, he need to hook her up with whoever doing his hair. Whoever's doing Jalen Rose's hair, he need to hook your homegirl up. Kristen Hutchinson says Jalen Rose hairline, he must have to sacrifice his firstborn for it. Yeah, you gotta sacrifice your firstborn, give up a kidney. You got to make sacrifices for that hairline. Yeah, you got to make a. I mean, he's over 40. He's comfortably over 40, because I remember being a kid in the early 90s watching him play for Michigan. I remember being a kid in the early 90s watching him play for Michigan. So he's closing in on 50. He's closing in on 50. 50 and got a hairline like that. I'm sorry. You got to make a deal. You got to make a deal with the devil for that one. You got to make a deal with the devil. You don't just get a hairline like that, or just off the strength of good genes. Fuck no, hell no. Anyway, Captain Cisco in the building says, I think Andrew Tate is the one that could bring balance to the force. I think he's doing a good job. I did a little content or did a pre-record on his discussion with Piers Morgan. That wasn't his best performance. So I didn't want to, I didn't want to do too much content on it because people who fight in a good fight, they're not gonna win every battle. They're not gonna win every battle. But that wasn't his best performance. It looked like like I said before, it looked like the weight of being canceled was probably weighing heavy on him. So he was just he was. I mean, Piers Morgan was right when he was saying you're giving politician answers. It was some stuff he should have just stood in it. And it wasn't his best performance. Now Piers Morgan gave him the Bill O'Reilly interview, and shout out to Bill O'Reilly. I like Bill O'Reilly, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he gave like he didn't give disingenuous interviews where he asked loaded questions, and then when you get halfway through answering a loaded question, he interrupts you with a loaded follow-up question, and then you start answering the loaded follow-up question, and then he interrupted with another question, and then tell you you're not answering the original question that he didn't allow you to answer because he distracted you with loaded follow-up question. Piers Morgan did a good job at that, and Andrew Tate didn't necessarily do a good job at navigating around that kind of BS because it looked like he was just trying to, politician his way through the conversation. So it wasn't his best look, wasn't his best performance. But either way it go, I still think, I'm still, I don't want to say fan, I want to say supporter. I never gave him a penny, but I support, applaud, respect what he's out there doing. He's out there on the front lines. So I give him his credit, his props, his respect for that. But Hoop Jargon in the building. Shout out to Hoop Jargon says, Jalen Rose created a freaking school that helps Black youth in Michigan. Literally has open enrollment and is exemplary. Is a exemplary place in the community. Shout out to Jalen Rose for that. Yeah, coming on through Weather in the building. I'm trying to get to the topic, but no, keep interrupting me with the super chats. I'll take it. Weather in the building says dudes in this space who are Jalen's age should not throw receding rocks. Should not throw receding rocks at glass hairlines. Receding rocks at glass hairline houses. Wow. Y'all need to act your age. I barely know what that means, but it sounds good. I give you props for dropping some good. That was a nice quotable. I like I see what you did there. I barely understood what you did there, but I understand the play on words. Good job. Weather. You get a point for that. You're already in the negative, but you're not out of the negative with me, but you moved closer to zero. You moved closer to zero. But all right, shout out to Weather. Back at it again with another one. About to get in his. You said at the end, Andrew Tate went on. It was an hour and 30 minutes long, so I think I fell asleep. So if he went in on him at the end, good, because Piers Morgan definitely needed it. Piers Morgan definitely needed it. But if he went in on him at the end, I'm glad to hear that. I must have missed that part. I think I watched an hour of the full interview. At least 45 minutes of it. But he says at the end, Andrew Tate went in on him. Good. I'm glad. I hope he did. Weather in the building again says Andrew Tate. Okay, here we go. Here you go. Andrew Tate, the grifter who sells hope to incels. I don't know how he's selling them hope. He's not the one saying just be confident and you'll get a girl. Those are other people. You're probably saying work out, get your money up, be successful, conquer the world. And then you'll have some options. That's not selling hope. That's selling them get off your ass and do some hard work. So So he's a grifter who sells hope to incels. The dude whose dad was in the CIA. Tate is yet another plant / distraction while the world burns. You're a plant / distraction while my channel burns. You're helping burn my channel to the ground with your comments. But thank you for the super chat. Anyway, Hoop Jargon in the building says, with that being said, I used to have long braids and now bald. The fuck Heyman Rose hairline. Yeah, that hairline is fake. That hairline is fake. I don't care. I'm calling it. That hairline is fake. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. I was going to start off with other topics, but we so far upfield now at this point with Jalen Rose. I'm gonna go ahead and start off. I'm gonna go ahead and start right off with the Jalen Rose video. I got other things I want to get into, so stay tuned because I got to get into Brian Kemp doing things that you could tell he been listening to the Black Manosphere, and the short that I put out about the substitute teacher that got fired over a tweet where she basically said that black women. I'll read the exact quote, but long story short, she was criticizing black women, how their sons, come into school. She's teaching their sons, and basically like they're picking up all of your traits. Like basically y'all need to either teach them how to be men or get them around some men. One thing she didn't say is reproduce with don't stop reproducing with the sketchy non-committal motherfuckers. But she didn't go there. But we're going to be getting into that and analyzing whether or not she was wrong in what she said, because she hit them with some hard stuff and she got fired. They couldn't handle it. But all right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go.
Getting my summer stuff ready and trying to continue to be healthy.
Hold up. Okay, here we go. I can't find my headsets. Hold on. There we go. Now I can hear what's going on. All right. Now I can hear what's going on. Let's get it. This is Jalen Rose's sister. While Jalen Rose look like he's doing a walk through the house with perhaps a realtor or potential buyer, but she's currently living in the house that he's currently selling. She's currently living in the house that Jalen Rose is currently selling. Let's go.
Clothes and getting my summer stuff ready and trying to continue to be healthy, but then I got to keep dealing with this idiot and this foolishness. Do not go on my mother's.
Let the disrespect sink in. This man bought that house. She's living in that house rent free. Living in that house rent free, but has the audacity has the audacity to say, I put nerve and audacity in one word. Had the audacity and the nerve to say, I got to deal with this idiot who's provided free home and shelter for me. Got to deal with this idiot. Look at the disrespect. No matter how successful you are, the head leading patriarch of the family at this point, he's over 50 and he's a millionaire. He's taking care of everybody. But he ain't in the NBA no more, but he do work for ESPN, and people do give the commentary on basketball and all the sports and everything. They do make a nice penny, but he ain't signing NBA contracts no more. And he came to the league right around the time or just before the time where the contracts first started getting real big. So he probably signed one big contract that still would be kind of small by today's standard. So he probably signed one big contract, just one. So chances are he ain't made a whole lot of money in his NBA career. Any endorsements, all that is done. So he's in a situation where you just can't assume that he just reeling it in like that. You can't just assume that anymore, because we know the stats on that. Most of these players end up broke. Most of them end up broke, and I'm talking about the ones who aren't fortunate and blessed enough to get that elusive sports commentary job. Those ones who get that one, they get to stay working in the game. All right, they get to stay in the game. All right, I'm looking at it right now. He made $100 million He made $100 million while playing. And I was right. It looked like he did sign one big contract. He signed one big 6-year contract where it looked like he was making anywhere from 10 to 14 million a year over the course of 6 years. It all adds up to $100 million. So he made $100 million. After taxes, we know the deal. Cut that in half, it's $50 million. All right. If he had to pay some child support, if he had to pay agents, if he had, I don't think he got into no major legal problems, but I'm sure there's situations where he had to pay some lawyers. There's he's owned homes. He had to pay property taxes. He's bought homes. He's bought homes from family members. He's it's a lot of things that happen that cuts that money, and then just the fast lifestyle. We can't deny that. Probably did a little tricking. So all I'm saying is that you just can't look at that $100 million and assume he still got it. 30 years being rich is a long time being rich. 30 years being rich is a long time being rich. So rich people have problems and expenses that we don't understand. He probably owed the IRS $1 million. That house probably worth $1 million. He probably got to sell that house to keep clean. You know what I mean? To make sure that the IRS ain't trying to lock him up. But anyway, let's go.
Be healthy, but then I got to keep dealing with this idiot and this foolishness. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room.
Listen to how she's talking about him. Keep in mind, don't let it slip out of your head. This is close to 50-year-old millionaire, now patriarch of the family. Big Mama died a year ago. He got the whole family on his shoulders. This is how you talking to the most important man in the family. This is how you talking to him. You're talking to him like a boy. Don't go in my mother's room. She said, listen to how she's talking to him.
Do not go in there. Don't go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. My mother just died last year, okay? And you bringing strangers all in here, Jalen Rose, to walk to your mother's house that you love so much, that you trying to sell her house a year after she passed while your sister's still living here in it. And you had the audacity to call me a squatter.
What else? Okay. Let's tease it out. Let's tease it out. The mom died a year ago. He's selling the house. He bought the house for his mom. He's selling the house. The mom died a year ago. It's October. So if she died last year. So that could be a year ago. If she died at the end of last year, I guess it could be technically 10, 11 months, but it could be a year and a half ago. So the mom who we bought the house for has been dead for a year and a half. So that is a house that, he's just paying property taxes on. It's not benefiting him. It's not helping him. And like I said, rich people have rich people problems, where sometimes you may have to sell a property to pay taxes for you to basically just pay your taxes on all the millions that you made, doing and either back from when he was playing or back from when he, he last played in 2007. So hopefully all those taxes are good. Otherwise he'd probably be locked up. But, he's still making hell of a salary. On, working for ESPN. Those people, they be owing legit money to the IRS. Like, you do not know the reason why somebody has to sell their house. You do not know the reason why somebody has to sell their house. And he owns a property that he bought for his mom. The mom is dead. Year and a half later, he's selling a house. But the sister who was living in, I'll let her tell the story.
I took care of our mother much that you trying to sell her house a year after she passed while your sister's still living here in it. And you had the audacity to call me a squatter when I took care of our mother and our grandmother in this house. You got a lot of nerve, Jalen Rose. You got a lot of nerve. And I hope the whole world see how much nerve you got now and how fake and phony you been talking about how much love you got to your mother and your family.
All right. Now, That's where it gets interesting. That's where it legit get interesting, because I see how some people could say she definitely has a legit argument. I get it. He bought the house for mama. He bought the house for mama. Mama and grandmama, mama and big mama was living up in that house that he bought for them. Looked like a nice house. We don't know where it's at, but looked like a nice house. You know, could be anywhere from, $500,000 to $1 million. Could be anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million. Bought it for mama. Mama and big mama living up in there. If mama and big mama, mama and grandmama living up in there, then the sister like, shit, party over here. I'm mad at her for that. I'm mad at her for that. I would move in too. If I was in her position, I would move in too. All right. Grandmama start getting old, and you're the youngest, most able-bodied person that's living up in that house, the house that Jalen Rose built, that he bought. Yeah, so you're gonna take care of him. Cool. Mama getting old. Mama done got sick. All right, you gonna take care of mama. All right. Mama done died. Grandmama done died. That's who the house was bought for. Now his sister, who we can assume is around his same age, is like, hey, this my shit now. I'm inheriting this house. This is all mine. Now Jalen Rose, the man who got to manage all this money, the man who got to make all of these moves, the man who got to pay taxes on all of this. Yeah, Jalen is the youngest. Thank you, Christian. Jalen Rose is the man who got to manage all of this, got to pay taxes on all of this, got to maneuver all of this, got to make sure that everything is okay. A man who talks with probably financial advisors and accountants regularly, and I'm pretty sure they came to the calculated conclusion that in order for you to move, like, he's not just selling a house just because, just because the wind blowing. If he's selling a house, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. But she's like, fuck your reasons. Fuck your reasons. I'm staying here. I'm dying in this house too. If mama was able to live in this house till she was 80 and die in it, I get to die in it too. And I'm 50. I'm sitting here for 30 years. Kristen just said it's $25,000 taxes on one of his houses. So she basically saying, no, you going to pay this house for all we know. This house is probably $40K on the taxes. Who knows? Who knows what the taxes is on this house? But she's basically saying, no, you're going to pay these $40K taxes until I die. And I don't reckon or imagine that she's working. So she's like, no, you're going to pay, you're going to pay living expenses until I die. You're going to operate as if you're still on that NBA contract until I die. That's literally what the argument is. And he's like, no, I bought this house for mama. You moved into, that's cool. Mama, grandmama lived here. All y'all lived in here together. That's cool. Mama, grandmama, and them died. I got financials. I need to sell this house. You could be potentially scaled down to something smaller. But I got to sell this house. I see what you're saying in the chat. She need to get a man. Jalen is not her husband. That's what it turns into. And that's one of the points that I'm making here. And that's what happens. That's what happens when black men make it big, get successful. They end up having to essentially be husband to every woman in the family. They end up having to be husband to every single woman in the family. But shout out to everybody in the building, 220 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We getting this thing rolling up in here. Shout out to my man, Sir Tice in the building, says, salute. But hold on. Why is that in the way? And I can barely see. Hold up. Okay, there's some kind of blocking your super chat. But Sir Tice in the building, he says, salute to bro Jalen in evicting her. We Detroiters don't play. Fecal matter. don't play fecal matter. Okay. shout out to Sir Tice in the building. Shout out to Sir Tice, my fellow Michigander, at our little get together gatherings that we do locally in Detroit. Can't wait till we see you at one of them. Eventually you got to pull up on us. Christian, okay, I probably just got to do like this. Hold on, there we go. I got to do like that temporarily while I read this. All right, Christian Hutchins in the building says, that's a nice house. The ceilings, beams, and overlooking staircase. Their mom died 1 to 2 years ago, so he's reducing overhead. He made $102 million in his career. Yep, you must have posted that right when I was looking it up. And that's what I'm saying. Rich people have problems that we don't understand. Well, Christian, you probably understand, but I understand. He got to reduce some overhead. He got to reduce some overhead. He's not on an NBA salary no more. I don't know how much ESPN is paying him, but even if they're paying him $1 million a year, you can't make $1 million a year, pay taxes on that, and that's down to 500,000. But then you own so many properties that if you're not currently collecting rent on those properties or currently doing something to flip those properties are now costing you. They are now costing, those properties end up costing you, one property could very well cost you a net month's salary. You got to work for a whole month just to pay property taxes on one big property. Like let that sink in. Let that sink in, and then you understand why they got to sell those houses. And the houses that so many people in the family just want to flop at and chill at, is like, no, I don't understand. I got expenses here. I got expenses that y'all don't understand. I cannot just put y'all up in big houses forever. I can't. We had a good run. Like that's reality of the situation that when I look at these situations, when I look at people, family, shit blowing up in flames, going up in smoke, and everybody criticizing this their rich celebrity family member, basically saying that he's selfish, he's doing this, he's doing that, he don't care about us, he blah 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 blah. It'd be more to it. But the biggest problem, the biggest issue that I'm seeing is her turning around with the outright disrespect, calling him an idiot, talking shit about him. That's where it gets real goofy. Like, you don't see blow-ups like that. You don't see blow-ups like that with other folks. You just don't. Sir Tice back in the building. I mean, with another one. Sir Tice back in the building with another one says, I remember when T-Mac signed his first big deal, he gave 10 family members $50K and said, don't ask me for more. $50K, in my opinion, is more than enough to be good. Man, I know somebody who received a $100,000 life insurance settlement from a family member that died. And people who not, I was just say this, people who not used to having money, when they get a lump sum like that shit be gone. It's hard to explain it. But I already know in less than 6 months, everybody was back knocking on T-Mac's door. No questions asked. Less than 6 months, they was back knocking on his door. End of. Like, no, it don't even work like that. It don't even work like that. They, you could say that, I give y'all this money and I'm done. We through. However, it ain't gonna make it. Now, I'm not saying he need to cave in. If he said that's what I'm giving y'all, that's what I'm giving y'all. And if y'all done, if I say y'all done, y'all done. All I'm saying is they ass came back. He says, yet he let Molly Quorum, never mind, go Jalen, yay. He let Molly Quorum do what? I understand that Molly Quorum, the attractive Latino looking host to ESPN First Take, I understand that. I don't know if they was married. I'm forgetting. I know they was in a relationship, or still in a relationship or married? Y'all let me know on that in the chat room. Jaquan in the building, he says, gotta cut off the leeches, aka liability sometimes. Shout out to Theo as well. Yes, definitely shout out to Theo. Where let me know in the chat room. Let me know in the chat room, yeah, if okay, they're divorced. So I think Weather was on to something. He said you let Molly take half. Now I don't know if what Jalen make compared to what Molly make was in a position where she could take half. But then again, remember when I was doing the breakdown of you make $100 million over your career, cut that in half from the taxes, cut it, take another percentage out. If you end up having to pay child support, take another percentage out, paying agents, take another percentage out, that fast lifestyle, take another percentage out, buying properties and houses and all kind of stuff for family members, take another percentage out. When it comes to property taxes on all of that stuff, keep taking those percentages out. You find out that $100 million, if not managed correctly, really was a much smaller number. Was a much smaller number. Can somebody confirm whether he let Molly run wild while they were married? I don't know what you're talking about. I think Jaquan is more accurate. Molly left without anything. She said she was good, as she should. She should have left without nothing. I mean, there she is on ESPN. I don't know if she's making $1 million from ESPN, but I know those ESPN hosts, they make hella money. I'm sure she's making millions. So yeah, she would have been kind of wrong to try to reach in and let me try to snatch what I can out of this man she's already sitting there successful in her own right, probably a millionaire by herself. That would be stupid. That would be stupid. Whether I don't know why I take you serious. You can't be in this space and have all the criticisms that you have about women and think women are all the things that you think that women are, but then turn around and criticize a man for not being able to get in line, entity, a being, a creature, a person who you agree is not getting lineable. You agree that she's out of line, but you're going to criticize a man for not being able to get her in line. But you're in this space and consume all this content and know that she has every reason and incentive to not be in line. She has every reason and incentive to be strong, independent, and do what she want, when she want, how she want to do it, and can't nobody tell her nothing. Who gonna check her? But we understand how that works. But then you're still going to turn around and again make the sisterhood argument where you put all the blame on the man for a woman not acting right. If a woman is not acting right while she's with the man needs to lay down the law of what he expect, what he require. If she don't get with it, then he need to leave, and that's the end of. That's just all to it. That's just all to it. But you can't criticize the man because she didn't want to line up. You can say, okay, you got with the wrong chick. That's about it. You can say you got with the wrong chick. That's about it. But goddamn, Weather. Goddamn. Tired of explaining this stuff to you. Tired of explaining this stuff to you. But isn't up. But isn't it up to the white man's and people's to teach us financial education? Yeah, we need to get financially educated. We do. But his sister right now is on the receiving end of that financial education because he's somebody who is financially educated told him, you need to sell this damn house. I'm just going to assume Jalen Rose is smart enough to where he got people in his corner. He got accountants and financial advisors in his corner that's telling him, You got to sell this damn house. Shout out to hold on. All right, we got something. All right, I got some things brewing, but anyway, let's roll some more of this.
Mighty funny. The man with the mic ain't got nothing to say today. Ain't that strange? Ain't that strange? How you gonna sell a house somebody live in and been living in for the last 3 years and not communicate? This what this guy is on.
Now, if it was no communication, I'll give her a point on that one. She got reason to be upset if it happened like that, to where it was abrupt and he didn't say nothing. If he didn't say nothing to her at all, she just looked up and saw a for sale sign in the yard, then all right, I understand her being a little pissed about that. But 3 years, the house that he bought for his mama, my mama was living in there, grandmama was living in there, and she just jumped on in. Then big mama died, and now she's still living there for like probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. And he need to sell the house. And she on some hell no, hell no, we won't go type shit. It's like, nah. Shout out to Hood Conservative. He says, so she didn't communicate with her own landlord for 3 years. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. You're in a sweet situation if you live in somewhere rent free and don't even got to communicate with the landlord. I'd say you're winning. But my argument is he got to sell the house. You never know why somebody needs to sell the house. You never know. But there is that element of entitlement to where when Black people become successful, when they get rich, you see it, they got everything on their shoulders. And family members who have not, family members who still in the same mindset, the same exact mindset that they had back in the hood, they got that same mindset while living in a damn near mansion that he paid for when he signed his big contract. Those houses just don't stay there forever. You have to scale down. You have to cut overhead. They don't understand that. We saw a very similar thing. 50 Cent said his baby mama, Marquise Jackson's mom, was on some I don't need to work. I don't need to do nothing. We don't need to try to make something out of the shoe business that he tried to give to his son. We don't need to worry or do nothing or be concerned with none of that for the simple reason that you already worked. You already made the money. You already did it. It's done. We don't nothing else need to happen here. We just got to live. But that's how she's operating, and that's what she's on. Now, I'm glad Jalen Rose didn't respond, but I really did want to hear what words was going to come out of his mouth. I really wanted to hear what words would come out of his mouth. Because normally when we investigate these things, we find out that they lie. No communication. You didn't tell me you was trying to sell it. It was no promise or no nothing that I was going to live here until I die. They try to make it seem like the celebrity, the rich celebrity that's taking care of the whole family is doing something wrong when he has to make moves. They try to spin it and depict it that way. That's what they ultimately try to do and try to make him out to be the big bad guy. She's talking about how she took care of the mama in there. She did this, she did that. I was here for 3 years looking after mama. I am to inherit this house and live here forever. Essentially, and in some cases like this, the youngest male in the family got to be basically the son, husband, brother, husband for every woman in the family. And be a lot of men in their family who they be having to take care of as well. So it just be a whole mess of a situation there. But Jalen, Christian says Jalen doesn't need to respond because in his circles, everyone understands what is happening. Yeah. I the reason I wish that they did respond more instead of being silent is because it's like the public. I hate how undereducated the public is on these situations where they just like, oh, I never do that to my sibling. It's like, no, y'all not seeing big picture. You know, the sibling who be complaining and trying to go viral, calling out the celebrity in the family, the sibling that does that, they they put it out there in such a spin doctored way to where people start viewing. I don't like the misinformation being out there. I don't like the incomplete information being out there. So that's why I wish they would explain it. Yes, people in their circle understand what's going on. Yes, people in their circle understands exactly what's going on. He don't got to explain nothing to his colleagues. He don't got to explain nothing to the people that he played in the NBA with. They know what's up. They know what the deal is. They know what the score is on all of that. But the general public, I don't like how the general public just hear the stories. Like we saw 50 Cent baby mama talking about, you know, she did some spin doctor stuff that flies in the face of all the facts. You know, so they do major spin and then try to throw somebody under the bus. I don't necessarily care for that. But make sure y'all hit the like button as we getting into this thing. Make sure you hit the like button as we getting into this thing. Real quick, checking the cash app in. I don't know if any cash apps anything came through. I just want to pull it up because I have a bad habit of missing cash apps because I never exactly I don't always have it set and ready to go. Don't always have that set and ready to go. So I wanted to make sure I got that pulled up. But 260 people in the building. Let's get into it.
It was posted to Twitter last Thursday under the account
another
at
thing.
Mostly some of the tweets.
All right. Move that down there where it says hit the like button. Move that for me. We got somebody behind the scenes on the ones and twos that do stuff, so I don't have to be bothered with it. But y'all can see it right there where it says on the screen, substitute teacher fired for noticing that women, and in this case, black women, can't raise boys to be men. The substitute teacher was fired for that. I posted this as a YouTube short late last night. Let's dig into this one.
Some of the tweet that landed her in that hot water here. It was posted to Twitter last Thursday under the account at mostly_hated. It says, black women raising boys, please stop letting your sons pick up your female traits. I have an expletive boys in my class.
Y'all probably can't see that. If I would have known, I would have made it bigger, but it says I have the I think she was trying to say bitchiest boys in my class. I think that's what she was trying to say, but it looked like she spelled it bitch, EST, bitchest. I think she mean like bitchiest boys in my class. That's what she's trying to say there. That's what the substitute teacher is tweeting. Now, there is a fair conversation to be had about whether or not she should be on Twitter with that shit. Okay, we're going to get into all of this. But whether or not the merits of what she's saying is right, that's a whole nother thing. But let's go.
Raising boys, please stop letting your sons pick up your female traits. I have an expletive boys in my class. I know you'll have some men around somewhere. This expletive is getting ridiculous. Now, this comment got some quick reactions when I showed it to some parents in person today.
It's not with that type of behavior.
Honestly, with a lot of the way teachers are, a lot of them do teach like they just don't say it.
She could have said, like, put them in male mentoring programs, things like that. But for her to just come off and say something like that, it's just atrocious.
Now, that's a situation where they on some like you know, that she told the truth. Okay, let's just make that very clear. She told the absolute truth. All right. cancel culture has a tendency of coming for somebody when they give some hard truth. And that's more or less what's happening with this game changer. This topic is not about the fatness of women. It's not. That's not what we're here to talk about today. Okay? That is not what we're here to talk about today. That was a concerned parent who was concerned at how this substitute teacher was referring to our wonderful children, our bright, wonderful minds of tomorrow. We're not here to talk about anybody's BMI. Not here to discuss anybody's BMI, but this is a situation where cancel is a situation where cancel culture is coming for a teacher who said something that was true. Now, this is what I was thinking about here. Is she wrong for going on Twitter with that? Because I was trying to draw some comparisons, and I'm real big on being consistent. Now, we didn't like the way that therapist went off. That therapist went off, she's supposed to be a professional, and she just clowning on social media. And I compared it to, put it like this: the way she was talking, I compared it to, let's just say, a truck driver. Let's just say you see a truck driver, and you see him, taking a shot of some Hennessy before getting into the truck. I mean, he's showing he's an incompetent truck driver. She was displaying things on social media that led people to believe that she's an incompetent therapist, and eventually she got fired as a result of it because of how unprofessional and out of pocket she was online. This woman is displaying some unprofessional stuff. She's displaying some unprofessional stuff. Now, I like the truth in what she was saying. I didn't like what that Shabri Rawls crazy therapist chick was saying. So I do this a lot. I challenge myself. Okay, what's the difference in these situations? And I had to somewhat be biased and say that fuck that. If a chick do get on some black chick get on some publicly disrespecting black men, we gonna call the shit out. We gonna call the shit out, and we gonna go hard. We gonna go ham on it and let the results be the results. That was where I was at with it. I had to say I know what the hell I'm an advocate for. I know what the hell I'm an advocate for. But when you look at just the bare bones of what she's saying, of with the substitute teacher that got removed, what she was saying was absolutely 100% true. What she was saying was absolutely 100% true. She left off some details because I would have went a little further. And been like, I would have went a little further and been on some, when she was like, "Don't y'all got a man somewhere? Ain't y'all got a man somewhere?" I would point to who's the goddamn man who impregnated these women. Where's that nigga at? And then that's where we get back to something that we talk about all the time. We get criticized for talking about black female mate selection. How I always say they are pretty accurate. Well, they do a shitty job at picking the dad for their kids, but they know how to knock it out the park when it comes to picking a stepdad for their kids, which means they know a decent man when they see one, which means they actively, willfully making bad choices, being reckless, getting pregnant, becoming single mothers, and then the whole works. Yes, there are going to be some times when a legitimate relationship fails, but for the most part, if the stats are that damn high, clearly there's some reckless behavior happening at the ground level. And speaking of hold on. Going back to the main topic, something that I forgot. Speaking of picking the wrong man and picking the right one and this or that, blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. A lot of people don't know this. Fun fact about Jalen Rose, going back to the main topic. Fun fact about Jalen Rose. That name, Jalen, his mom invented that name. I got you, GC. This link is for GC. Nobody else take it. I'll put the link in for everybody else soon. But as I wait for GC to come up, I'm gonna okay. All right. As I wait for GC to come up, I'm going to explain this. That name Jalen didn't exist before Jalen Rose's mom invented it. How did she invent that name? Jalen Rose told this story of how his name came into existence. He was the first. He's literally the first person named Jalen. The name didn't exist before him. His mom. This is how he explained it. The man his mom got pregnant by, name was Jason. The man who, his words, who took his mom to the hospital when she went into labor, name was Lenny. She put that together and invented the name Jalen. Goddamn, Sir Tice, why you do this to me? I said I put the link in the chat for Game Changer. This is just for Game Changer. Then you pop your ass out, and you know I can't deny you. So you bogarting my show, but I gotta let you up because you're Sir Tyson, you my dude. But goddamn it was for GC only. You knew that. You just bogarting, but I'm gonna let you up. Hold on, let me make this point, and I'm gonna bring both of y'all up. The name Jalen didn't exist. Jason got her pregnant. Lenny was the one that took her to the hospital after she was pregnant. So do the math. Do the math. Jason was just the dude who just was slanging dick, community semen, knocked her up. Lenny was the bailout plan simp that said, I love you even if you are 17 months pregnant. You know, that took her ass to the hospital. And that's how he got his name. Basically, she gave the bailout plan dude some respect. You put his name in the kid's name, but the fact of the matter is, that's where it came from. Now he looked it up. They went through the database, looked it up. At the time that he was born, at the time that they looked it up, it was only like 3 Jalens on Earth. 3 Jalens on Earth, and they were born after him. Now there's like tens of thousands of Jalens that only exist because after he started getting famous when he was playing for Michigan, the name Jalen was there. Jalen Rose was in everybody's head, and he got drafted, I think, number 5 in the NBA draft. And then now there's tens of thousands of people named Jalen. Like he invented that. The name Jalen exists. All the Jalens y'all know that came into existence, they only exist because some simp got with a pregnant chick, and that's why the name Jalen exists. Just let that sink in. When I tell these stories, you listen. I don't just speak from I don't even want to tell this one. I don't just speak on talking points. I be speaking from experience. Okay, let me explain it like this. The woman that I ended up marrying, my ex-wife. And I see y'all down there, GC and Sir Tice. I got ya. The woman that I ended up marrying, we was together in high school. She was, a couple years. She was older than me. She graduated before me. We broke up. Around the time I was about to graduate, hit her up. We kind of got back together, and oh, by the way, she was pregnant. I'm saying all that to say in that Jalen Lenny story, I was Lenny. Goddamn it, I was. So, like, I don't just be reeling off talking points when I be giving analysis of shit. I be speaking from some personal experience on some of this shit. So I'm like, I already know exactly what he didn't explain it like that. But when when he was explaining, when he was saying that, Jason was his biological dad, Lenny is the one who took her to the hospital, I already knew what was up. All right, thank you, Daryl Nevels. Don't leave me out there by myself. He said I was that guy too. Thank you. All right. Anyway, let's bring up GC and Sir Tice in the building. Let's bring this story
landed her in that
back up. Wait, hold on. Let's bring this one back.
It was posted to Twitter last.
All right, GC, you wanted to get a word in edgewise on this one. What's your thoughts? What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to point out, and I think that is very important. You kind of glossed over it, but the women that were interviewed were fat.
Mhm.
Now, that's simply a sign of bad parenting, in my opinion, and simply put, because fat women don't care about their own nutrition, and therefore they cannot care about the nutrition of their children because, simply put, they both eat from the same trough. So it is disingenuous for them to, pretend to be concerned parents at that stage. You're not concerned parents. If you were concerned parents, you would have the same concern that the woman who made the statement had. I'm sorry.
My bad. I was going to say I've long contended that overfeeding kids is child abuse. Child abuse. GC.
Exactly. And if you were concerned about the kids, you wouldn't be so damn fat. Like, let's face it, there is a lie there. There's this pretense that these are concerned mothers. Really, they're just concerned about their own well-being. The kids are a means to an end, and that end is a check. It's a government check of some sort, or a series of government checks from government programs. That is the reason that the child was born, and that's the reason why the child is still here. And that's also the reason why you have they conceive with an irresponsible person, and then they try to find a responsible person to raise them. You see, they don't really care if the kid is raised alone. Notice the gap. There's always a gap. The kid gets born, the kid remains childless for quite some time, and then somewhere along the line, right before the kids turn 18, some new dude comes out of nowhere, with his penis out. That is the pattern of behavior. If they really care, and that is a sign that they don't give a damn about their children. Why? Because if you're a single person, a single woman, it is incumbent upon you to be attractive as possible at all times, in order to be prepared for an apt mate and father for your bastards. But they don't do that because they don't care. They were in the parking lot. It looked like they were in the parking lot of the school, and they could not find an actual legitimate, slim, concerned parent that was female. The only person that was in shape was the dude that they interviewed.
What's your thoughts on him?
On who?
The dude. To me, he was just, forget the fact he wasn't fat. To me, he was just a suspect.
Well, hold on. Wait, let's listen to what he says. We can hear what Sir Tate's talking about.
It's not with that type of behavior.
Honestly, with a lot of the way teachers are, a lot of them do teach like they just don't say it.
She could have said like,
All right, what's your issue with him? I mean, okay, he said that a lot of teachers think like that. They just don't say it. I saw nothing wrong with what he's saying. He's just saying that he just looked and act kind of suspect.
I posed it to GC, but I'll be more than happy to answer.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to, I don't have a GDAR, so I don't really know what he is in that regard. I mean, I'm just saying that he's look at him and look at the chicks. Like this is a regular sample population of the Black community. Why are so many men more handsome than the women are pretty? This shit is ridiculous. She looks like God's fart. What the fuck is wrong with this?
What?
Like, huh?
Whose fart? What?
I was saying God's fart.
Like God farted and then she came out?
Yeah, that's
I just stop laughing.
What the this looks normal to you? This looks like a regular human to you?
No, but I'm trying to conceptualize God's fart. Only reference I have of God farting is a Family Guy cutscene where basically God that's some white boy shit where they set their farts on fire, they light a match and then they fart into it and make it go like that, and then they basically, that was how God created the universe in Family Guy. So that's my only reference of God farting.
That's how he created her. Like,
okay.
Listen, in various things, God created people like Adam and Eve from other aspects, from other elements of the universe, like dirt, to which he used to create Adam, and the same dirt that he used to create Lilith, and then he used the rib of Adam to create Eve. He used the fart of Adam to create this bitch. Like, that is what she looks like on purpose.
All right. Oh no, I wouldn't say. Oh no, go ahead, finish up. I thought you were done. Well, my fault. Go ahead.
On purpose. This isn't an accident. This is the way she looks regularly all the time. She's picking up kids, and the other kids see this. This is ridiculous, Bernard. This is somebody mama. Do you know in the 80s how much shit I would have took if my mom looked like this? I was roasting all the time.
About that.
Huh?
Yeah, you know
exactly.
that people with fat mamas, they oh man, yeah, they got lit up at school.
Exactly.
Elementary school. Your mama come up to damn, I just realized how messed up that is when somebody mama come up to the school and then the mama come in there fat, and it's like soon as she walk in, it's like everybody, the kids are mean as hell. Damn, I just realized they start snickering as soon as somebody mama walk in.
Why you think we're not as sensitive as this generation though? That's what kind of hardened us.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was horrible. But
exactly. So
hold on, real quick. Jay is story to tell in the building. Shout out to him. He says, bingo, Bernard, entitlement when you live in a house and don't ask no questions about the bills situation. That's entitled. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. But getting back into real quick before I pass it back to you and before we get to Sir Tice and everything. Al Boogie, I don't know if you untimed out. You came in here and you said, man, this shit is corny. If you're gonna say some shit, you use your words. If you think something is corny, explain in full grown-up sentences what problem do you see. And then we may address it if it makes sense. But you can't just come through, do a drive-by, man, this some corny shit, and then pull out. No, you get timed out for that. Wrench and channel member and all. But anyway, all right, go ahead, GC, and then we're gonna go to Sir Tice.
No, I was just that was my point. My point is that they automatically gave them the label of concerned parents. Mm-hmm. And nothing about the two women there is really showing that they are concerned parents.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. Sir Tice in the building. Go ahead. You got the flow. You got the mic.
Good afternoon. Salute GC. Salute Bernie. I'll tie this into Jay in a second. The reason I'll take that handoff, GC, though. The reason
hold on, Al Boogie. I wasn't saying I was trying to take a wrench or nothing like that. I was just saying that even with a wrench, if you come through, you could get timed out with a wrench. That's all I was saying. I ain't trying to take your wrench. You my dude, but I just don't like when people don't explain themselves. When they just come through and just say, man, it's some bullshit. Yeah, explain yourself. All right.
No, I was saying,
go ahead, Sir Tice.
You know what a person is about often, not just by what they talk about, but what they don't talk about. There's not a black man alive, unless they are on this simp side, that would disagree with that statement that teacher made, generally speaking, right? There's not too many. Okay, so all that, brother, I don't know. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut on this because there's a lot of people watching here right now. They can't let me go against black woman on TV, but they'll see me on the news, though, So he's, to me, just as part as the problem. And it's, what's worse, I'll tie this into Jay in a second. But to me, what we don't talk about enough, we talk about the negative side, the SKC let it burn side, all that. We don't talk about these enablers, these people who defend this. You had a person named Weather in the chat who does the typical tactics, bring up some ridiculous false equivalency. What the F does Molly Quorum, Jalen's former wife, got to do with him? Hey, you've been here for 3 years. It's time to bounce. Okay? It's time to bounce. Let me tell you this before I get into the Jalen thing. Oh, one thing. Jalen and I came up together. I'm not going to say we are the best of friends. No, but we're a year apart. I see him when I was at Eastern Michigan and such. He would come over to the parties and things, so know him very well in the sense of, like a casual acquaintance. So
that's what's up.
That dude has been about Detroit since he was 16 and 17 years old. And shout out to whoever mentioned, yes, long before the Akron guy had a school, Jalen Rose has had a charter school for 12 years there. Okay, no fanfare.
Why you refer to LeBron as the Akron
He's an
guy? What you
Akron
think?
guy, whatever.
You think
Okay.
why you can't say his name? What's up with that?
I'm just telling where he's from. You knew
Uh,
who I was referring to. No, but I'm saying
okay.
Jalen.
Sound like a LeBron hater to me, but okay, carry on.
I'm talking about Jay. You know, no, Jay actually even gave the Pistons a tour. You're familiar with this, to St. Cecilia just recently, you know, showing them all the landmarks and like, look, y'all are part of this city. So I was going to talk about Jimmy Walker, his father and such, but I'll move on from that or whatever, because your story was spot on. I don't want to say who, but in my life, let's just say this. I had something with a family member where we had a house, such and such, and a year later, I'm getting served with foreclosure papers. And if I didn't come up with XX, this was years ago, whatever, but I didn't come up with XX, was going to lose that house. Thank God I had it, you know, to be able or to come up with it. But the lesson learned is especially with family, you better have some things written out or what have you, you know, and if they're on some, oh, why we got to do that, we family or whatever, then they're not the ones to be doing any kind of business with. So you also had someone saying about, that's his sister, where his sister's supposed to live. Hold on. What? Jalen been out of the league for damn near 15 years.
Yeah,
okay?
I just looked it up. It was 2007. I thought he played a little longer than that, but yeah, 2007.
Well, he's on Phoenix's bench or whatever, you know. So,
yeah,
and for 2009. But no, on the serious side, what is this mentality that, okay, and that's why I was making that comment about you hear these buzzwords in social media. We need to know financial education. It's about okay. There's Udemy online. You can go to YouTube. You can go to your free library and all this. Why are you looking to your so-called oppressor for free financial education? Or, as I said with the whole T-Mac thing about giving each family member $50K. I remember the story, but I don't remember the details. If he was like, hey, you got to go through this kind of class or whatever, but don't ask me for nothing. I agree with you that when you give someone who is completely ignorant of money, you're basically you may as well just grab a cigar torch and just hold the cash to it, because that's what's going to happen to the money. I do agree with that, but just bringing this back to Jalen, it's like when I said he's been out of the league for all these years, yes, he's been in the limelight of sorts as a broadcaster, but how long do you think you're going to live off of this man? I think Chris Hutchison had mentioned not talking to your landlord in 3 years. Okay, and you think everything good? I'm sure something went wrong. Even the best of houses, something goes wrong with it. Or hey, what's the situation here? Well, I'm thinking about unloading it because in this market or whatever, I can get something, but y'all can, get this. You would think that you would be having those kind of conversations if you were responsible. I don't know too much about him and her relationship, but I can bet that this probably already strained. And this is part of it. This is part of it. It's like, look, he's probably been sending indirect messages. Look, it's time to go. Did you even get the porches fixed or whatever? It's always little things like that involved in these situations. Damn, I come in town and the door's broken and shit. You don't pay no rent. You can at least keep the shit up. Am I lying?
No, yeah, it's all kind of issues. It's all kind of issues that we don't necessarily be seeing. We don't necessarily be understanding. We just see the family member go online and blast their celebrity relative.
This is why black people can't be together. As somebody who was in, and then these hit and run comments. How come y'all don't come up and defend that? That's why I know it's just full of shit. Saying that this is what he shouldn't do that to his sister. You have no idea. Did she let the house rot? Been there, done that too.
Well, there's a weird kind of deference that that black men have towards the women in their family, and that shouldn't exist, because there's an assumed qualification to certain things that they have from their men. And there's a assumed obligation that black men tend to have towards black women. I'll give Tupac for an example. Mm-hmm. Tupac was saying things like, even though you were a black even though you were a crack fiend mama, yeah, you'll always be a black queen. It's like, she really didn't have to do anything as a mother in order to get the benefits of motherhood. Keep in mind, like, not dying in a nursing home is a benefit of being a good mother. It's not the benefit of just having children and, you know, those children just so happen to be successful. That's not the case. You actually have to be a good mother in every other community, or you have to be a good sister in every other community. You actually have to contribute something. We live in a community to where just being a mother or a sister or a daughter or something is enough. You should give me it because I am a female blood or, you know, marriage relative of yours. That type of thinking is really what's holding Black men back. And I think that, you know, this athlete in this particular case is saying, you know, something, I'm not bound to somebody. And this is probably because of his experience with other cultures. I'm not bound to somebody who wasn't entirely bound to me. Growing up, I'm not obligated to support a person who was unsupportive of me. You don't deserve credit just because you were born into me. I think Michael said it best on The Wire. I'm not going to
Getting
pay
my
you.
summer stuff ready and trying to continue to be
You
healthy.
there?
My bad. GC, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Michael on The Wire said it the best when he said, "I'm not going to pay you for being my mama."
Let me
You
get your
don't
take
really
Let me get your
go
take
for
on
it.
something real quick. Do you think she's older than him? I'm pretty sure she's like in her 50s, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she is. But let's say
Doesn't matter. She's an adult. It does not matter.
good point. Good point. What are your thoughts on her doing the typical record everything and trying to put him on blast like he's the wrong one?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really shows that her perspective. She actually believes that society will back her in this particular regard. Like the sense of entitlement is just, you know, ridiculous. Now, I will say that there is something to be said about his actions. I mean, if he took care of her this long, um, it he kind of instilled her with a sense of entitlement, and then, you know, at 50 say, hey, go out and get a career. And even though her resume is a picture of her with her bra on, like, she don't really have anything at that point. He did kind of set her up for that, but you know.
Well, from where I sit, the red pill community is also somewhat guilty of this. And here's why. I often hear language like, oh, you know, they're like children. Oh, you have to lead them in this way and that way. That puts them in the mindset of, oh, well, you got to teach me. You got to show me. No, you're an adult. You're an adult female with all the responsibilities thereunto. Paying your rent if you have a place to stay, if you don't have a husband. Paying your car note, utilities, insurances, whatever it be. So in some ways, I hear some of the same language in the red pill space, which is, you know, oh, women are like children.
So are you
I
saying
was
that
No,
gives
no. Well, the
I was
thing
muted
about
up.
that,
Hold on, real quick. I got it. The women are like children is normally the argument that people make when they're trying to gaslight red pill men for criticizing women and holding them accountable. That's normally the gaslighting counter argument that they do to
Well,
try to get us to shut up.
a lot of the dating coaches lead with that kind of stuff.
You talking about the dating coaches who constantly shit on the manosphere and passport bros?
good point? Yeah, they're not part of it.
well, the whole women is the whole women being children concept, it really doesn't apply here, simply because we in the red pill for the most part understand that though they may behave like children, they most certainly are not our children. And the only way to become as our children is to submit. We are not responsible for the women who are not submitted themselves to us on an individual level and on a collective level. So, I mean, they could have the mindset of children all they want to. It's not my children. If you see somebody who is throwing pancakes at IHOP, that's really just her issue. She's an orphan. She's a person with the mind of a child and with no parental guidance. So that's on her.
Oh, real quick, Sir Tice, did you get my text message?
Brother, my phone was literally down until today, so it's back up. So, no, do me a favor and resend it. Before you go on, Paulo, I just didn't realize this, Bernie. Is your part of your title? Does it say she was squatting or she was living there?
Jalen Rose called her. Let me make sure I wrote it right. But Jalen Rose called her a squatter.
Okay.
Well, according to her, she said, "And you got nerve to call me a squatter? You know, and I've been here 3 years taking care of mama. So yeah."
Well, Mama, I was just reading a story while GC was going, and so Mama passed on a year ago, and she's been there. So this tells me is hey, it was time. You were never supposed to be there in the first place, or whatever. Now, who's to say? I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She was there taking care of Mama or whatever, right? Let's just say she was there for the last 3 years taking care of Mama. Well, you weren't really living. Well, you were. It was never intended to be long term, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that was essentially my point. Like, grandmama and mama, lived and died in the house that Jalen Rose bought for them with his NBA money. That doesn't mean that the sister get to live and die at 80 years old in that house. I was just basically saying we don't know the man's expenses. We don't know what kind of taxes he owed. We don't know. I'm sure he's in the game long enough and still making money with ESPN, being a commentator, giving analysis and everything, to the point where I'm sure he got financial advisors and people on his team like saying, hey, you need to move some money around, need to scale down, you need to do this, you need to do that. That property right there is, let's say it's $1 million house, and he probably, they be owing millions of dollars in taxes and shit. They probably like, hey, you need to sell that one. Who knows what the plan was? He probably was like, hey, I got to scale you down.
I don't know what it is with the stateside Black community. I'm raising my hand because my family is guilty of it. There is something about Mama's house that when she passes or she goes, that things just the dominoes, house of cards just come crumbling. I'll be revealing too much, but somebody lost ours within a period of 2 years. A house that was in our family for 40 years. 2 years. I mean, I don't know what it is with Mama's house.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it to some degree. That, okay, that was, when we say Big Mama's house, truthfully, a lot of us have pointed this out, that's really Granddaddy's house. He bought that house off, working hours in steel-toe boots at the plant or whatever. He bought that house. He worked himself to an early grave, and everybody say that's Big Mama's house. And then Big Mama die, and then now the family inherit that house. That's probably worth a lot of money right now. A lot of times they sell it, but there is something to be said about keeping that house in the family and people can live there or whatever. I get that. I get that. But if it's Jalen Rose who's managing millions and that house got to go, it got to go. It just is what it is.
Well, I've seen scenarios like mine where it was lost over taxes.
That's normally how it get lost. Shout out to Christian in the chat room. He said one of his properties is $25,000 a year. So you can only imagine what Jalen Rose probably paying in property taxes annually. You gotta scale down and cut some of that shit back. It just is what it is. That's how I looked at that. But shout out to everybody in the building who's contributing to the show. Shout out to everybody who's contributed to the show. Appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit the like button. We got 300 people in the building. Let's I don't know if y'all got anything else to say on the Jalen Rose thing. We do want to transition to the teacher that got. Go ahead.
Could you play it again? I didn't get the chance to see it. But I'll say this. Well, you don't have to play it. I can figure it out. I had a similar situation when
I'll go. Hold on, wait. I'll go ahead and play it just for there's new people in here that ain't see the beginning. Okay. So I'll go ahead and play it. So give me. But then I
gotta keep dealing with this idiot and doing this foolishness. Clothes and getting my summer stuff ready and trying to continue to be healthy. But then I gotta keep dealing with this idiot and doing this foolishness. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in there. Don't go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. My mother just died last year, okay? And you bringing strangers all in here, Jalen Rose, to walk to your mother's house that you love so much, that you tried to sell her house a year after she passed while your sister's still living here in it. And you had the audacity to call me a squatter when I took care of our mother and our grandmother in this house. You got a lot of nerve, Jalen Rose. You got a lot of nerve. And I hope the whole world see how much nerve you got now and how fake and phony you been talking about how much love you got to your mother and your family. Mighty funny. The man with the mic ain't got nothing to say today. Ain't that strange? Ain't that strange? How you gonna sell a house somebody live in and been living in for the last 3 years and not communicate? This what this guy is on.
There it is.
Okay, so I want to point out that she said something very interesting. Trying to stay healthy.
I don't know why. See, I missed that, and I think most people missed that part. But okay, you you don't let that shit slide. Somebody said they try to stay healthy, but you can see a little extra poundage on them.
Well, and that's the problem. And I know I harp on this. You know,
no, it's funny. It's funny. Go ahead. It's funny.
I know I harp on this a lot, but she ate from the same pot that a world-class athlete ate from. Just saying. She ate from the same pot that a world-class athlete. Why is the Black community so polarized in this?
He just didn't do the workouts. How about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, ooh, that's, I'm trying to stay healthy. Oh gosh. And then she said a year ago, it's been a year. She stayed there for a free extra year. And then she said, go into my mama house. Or she said, don't go into my mama room. This is my mama. It's not your mama. Right. It's only your mama when, you're buying the house for your mama, but it's not actually your mama. This is my mama when it comes to living in the house.
His mama, it's not his mama either, right? It's not his mama.
Exactly.
Right.
It's his mama. It's his mama when it comes to paying for the house. But when it comes to living in the house, that's her mama.
This is not hard to figure out.
Telling him, she was literally telling this man who bought the damn house, stay out of my mama room. Like, what the hell?
Look, this is not hard to figure out in the annals of negritude. We all know what happened. Mama died. He gave her a year to get herself together and find her own place. It probably said, yeah, right. And decided she was going to ignore her brother and just chill. And when the bill came due and the eviction notice came, she was caught off guard. That's what happened. I've had it happen in my family. We had to evict a family member. It wasn't a brother or sister, but nonetheless, they had to go.
We talked about that.
I don't even know. I don't even think he did it in terms of eviction notice. I just think I think she said there's no communication. I think it was, but I don't even think he tried to formally evict her. He just put the house up for sale. I just think that's what happened. The house was up for sale.
In California, you do have to evict people. So like if you own your home and you have a chick that comes stay with you, after 30 days, she live there and you gotta, if she gets mail there. And you got to actually go through a formal eviction process to get her out. Like, that is no joke. I've been in that situation, and they turned. I was wondering why she was so damn happy to get mail. Now I know, because they weaponized that shit against you. I went through hell with that, Bernard. Yeah. So yeah, if he know better, he did evict her. She got her notice.
I got to reboot, but what's crazy?
Cool. Pablo kept trying to jump in and say something, so I do want to go to Pablo. We cut him off, but shout out to Jackie Jack says that's his mother too. He's saying as a sister, yeah, she's acting like his mama or something. But Daily Raver in the building says throwing a little in to help make the goal. Keep up the good work, BR. Absolutely. We think we 10 more to go for the goal. Shout out to everybody who contributed and support the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. But go ahead, Pablo. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Yeah, but what I was saying was the eviction is coming. And she knows it, and that's why she's kind of putting up the fight. And here's the other thing. When we had a cousin living in my grandmother's house, even though the house was paid for, which I'm pretty sure Jalen Rose's mother's house is probably paid for, there's probably no mortgage. But here's the problem. He has to continue to pay the taxes on it.
Yeah.
I spoke on that. Yeah.
And that is a complication into where you begin to not be able to allow people to stay for free.
Yeah, but the taxes, I had spoke on that, Bob. The taxes are nowhere near the amount of what a monthly mortgage would be, So, I mean, in Detroit, in that place, $600 a month tops. Something that GC just said that kind of reminded me. California is a very renter-friendly state. Those squatters, they know the law better than a damn attorney, okay?
Sure.
Michigan is another squatter-friendly state. I was watching, because I kind of, Chris could probably give even more of a description of this, since he owns, a lot of property there. But you literally got people who have been at places for, what a coincidence, 3 years that are just finally getting physically evicted with the sheriff, So these people know the deal, man. They know exactly what they're doing. And just a simple thing with him and his sister, who's to say that? I don't think that they had a good relationship. Just the fact that she's videotaping it, because that's, we know what that's for. Yeah, I'm gonna put your little goody two shoe reputation on blast.
Keep in mind, she didn't call him, Jay. I'm just assuming his family call him Jay or some kind of nickname. She literally looked to his head, Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
She made sure she said his full government name that the world knows him by in the grainy cell phone video. She wanted to make sure she put his full government name in there. That was on purpose. So yeah, you know what that was all about.
Hey, Jeremy Hill in the chat, you're saying, so basically we're putting money over family. Can you elaborate on that? Are you basically saying that, let me tell you, yeah, having been through this, yeah, things cost money. Now what?
Listen, I'll say this and I'll be clear with this. Like me and my family, we good. Love my family, and if I got rich, I would try to definitely do right by him. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So there is something to that of looking out for family. It is. However, there are situations that happen when it comes to somebody. All us came from, if everybody came from brokenness, we all was broke. One person got rich. When rich people complain about, rich people problems, I wish I had your problems, but they do got problems and issues and things that they have to do and money they have to move around and taxes they got to pay and expenses that they got and shit that they got to sell to make sure that they don't go under. It's a reason why some celebrities who we seen make millions be filing bankruptcy and other ones don't. So that's where I'm at with it. But the family who still got the same poor broke mindset, they like, what you mean you got to sell this house? Why we can't live here? We've been living here 5 years for free. Why we can't no more? He's like, no, you got to live in a smaller place now. I got to sell this. I'm not making money like I was then. I'm still making good money. I just got to move some shit around. And this house is one of the things I got to move around. They'll understand that. It's why we can't live here no more. That's what I'm criticizing. But go ahead.
Well, here's the other part. How is he helping his sister? We don't know if she's employed, if she's taking any responsibilities at all, if she's living in a home for no money. Maybe she wasn't working or doing anything else. Granted, she was probably taking care of her mama for the last 2 years, but how is he really helping his sister to be responsible if he just allows her to stay without any responsibilities? He's not helping her, he's hurting her.
Let me piggyback on that just briefly.
Well, I mean, see,
go ahead, Sir Tice. Sir Tice tried to jump.
Yeah, just briefly, Bob and GC and Bernie. Imagine you all didn't have to pay taxes if you own your home or a mortgage. Even if your rent or mortgage was $700, just imagine that's easily $10,000 a year that you'd be sitting on. Even if you're working a low wage job, that's more than enough for you to be doing something with. So if she's not doing nothing, that just really tells you what a bum she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So I want to point out when they say money over family, ever notice how that only applies to the men? and I'm not talking about the fathers because they in situations like this they rarely exist. That only apply. Like, ever notice how a kid can't say to his mama, "Hey, I want an allowance," and she don't do it, and then it's like, "Oh, well, you putting money over family." Instead of giving me an allowance, you are keeping it to yourself. You see, this is what I mean when I say the women in Black families have no obligation to the men, but they have all the demands. Oh, you put money over family. Like, you've been on welfare. You have put the comfort of not working over the well-being of family for quite some time through the entire duration of my raising. Like, how many dudes didn't get an allowance at all? I know I didn't. And did somebody say, "Oh, you're putting money over the family," but they had their money, but they kept the money to themselves?
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous. How come it's only one-sided? The obligation is only one-sided. Listen, everybody has something that they can contribute to the family. Everybody has something that they can sacrifice to the family. He has sacrificed things to the family. This sister has not sacrificed shit her whole damn life. While he was waking up at 5 in the morning, eating 6 raw eggs and working out, practicing on his handles and shit like that, what was she doing? She was sleeping, and she woke up and got a snack at Dunkin' Donuts and then went back to sleep again. So he contributed everything. He worked his ass off and contributed everything, and she contributed nothing.
I'm just
I love the
impressed
fact
that
that
when you said,
handles,
working on his handles,
yeah, I knew
you
you.
saw you was on point today, GC. You made a
Thank
basketball
you.
reference that was airtight. It sound like you know what you're talking about. Good job.
GC,
Good
what do
job.
you
You
think
know,
of what if Jalen was the female and his sister was the brother? What would Jalen be called?
oh, he'd be the bum, dingy, dusty, freeloading, sorry ass mother. He, I can't even imagine a man sitting there on that camera, sitting there. Oh man, yeah. The Black female YouTube would be going ham on
Shade
this one.
room, all that other garbage. Topics still be going on now. Somebody in the chat said
Yeah.
they would never evict any one of their family. Okay, I would. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I put it like this. I tend to believe
And
that
they
it ain't
wouldn't
it.
get you.
I tend to believe it ain't even like what she's describing. Just like when you scratch beneath the surface, the whole situation with 50 Cent wasn't like what the son and the mama was describing. I bet it ain't a situation where it's like he's like, bitch, I'm putting you out on the street. No, I bet it's more of a situation where y'all can't live in the big $1 million house no more. We ain't got it like that no more. We got to scale down. I got to sell this. Y'all gonna, y'all gonna have to move into something smaller. That's just all to it. I bet it's a situation like that. And y'all might have to, I don't know, y'all might have to work. but I bet it ain't a situation I'm putting your ass out on the street.
The nerve.
I bet it ain't that situation.
Now
Sodomy,
it's
hold
funny
on, real
because
quick. Sodomy and Chicken in the building. He says, "Don't worry, she'll be okay. She's strong and independent. Her black girl magic will take care of everything and get her through it." Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
but
that.
she's trying to
And
stay healthy.
yeah, and Mike and Vince Perkins is correcting me on the story about how the name Jalen came to be. I heard the story 10 years ago, so forgive me for getting some details wrong, and I took some liberties with the story too. But because I read between the lines when he said a man named James or Jason or something got him pregnant, got his mom pregnant, and then a different man named Lenny or Leonard took her to the hospital. I assumed Leonard was the Simp bailout plan. But anyway, he says, correction, BR, Lenny or Leonard is the uncle, mom's brother, and his father, former number 1 pick of the Pistons, was Jimmy James Walker. Jay and Jalen. Okay, cool. So there was no Simp bailout plan involved there, but that is how the name Jalen came into existence. And then once he got famous, everybody started naming their baby Jalen, and now it's a bunch of Jalen's walking around because of that situation, that story right there. Thank you, Mike, and Vince Perkins. Do appreciate you.
Well, this and this whole concept of, I would never put a family member out on the street. That is ridiculous, especially coming from a black man. I mean, we are the most put out on the street people ever. Let's be clear. There are black men in this chat room right now, out of the 300 plus people watching. There are black men in this chat room right now was kicked out on the street on their 18th birthday or their graduation day, whichever one came first. Let's be clear. We are chronically put. When I was young, me and my mom had beef. 17 years old, put out on the streets.
Damn.
You think that was the only person that happened to, motherfucker? How come we are the only ones who say, oh, we can't put them out on the street, but they can put you out on the street? When you 17 years old and the only job you can get is selling crack or working at Burger King. What the fuck? I mean, why are we pretending like our moms aren't shitty and that they deserve the stuff that regular moms deserve?
If you weren't put out on the street, you heard this one. You're going to have to start paying some rent right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, you'll be lucky to have one of those, you got to pay the rent, which just so happened to be half your minimum wage check. You would be lucky if you had one of those.
Out of all the analysis of that song that's been done in this space, the crack fiend, even though you're the crack fiend mom, is still a black queen mama. Nobody ever asked the question of average into the equation. Like, wait a minute, why did she put you out at 17? Nobody ever brought that up. That was good. That was good. He was
put out on 17, but yet he still had that plantation mentality. Even though I had to sell rocks. Felt good putting money in your mailbox. Why are you putting money in the mailbox of somebody that put your ass out? Make it make sense. But no, this is the mentality of black men and boys. We are still obligated to a group of people who feel minimal obligation to us.
Yeah, I got put out, but I was a college graduate and I was wilding.
Hey, I was gonna.
Okay, but you wasn't 17 unless you was very smart.
No, I was. Me too.
Yeah. So she at least supported you through college.
Just on the point of Jalen's biological father, the sports guys have noticed. There was this guy, Mitch Albom. I think he's still national, but he's a local Detroit columnist. I'm sure you know who he is, Bernie. He used to be on ESPN Sport Reporters. He went up to Jalen Jalen swears he's never met his father. His father passed away, I believe, in the late 2000s, pardon me. And he swears that he never met his father. Mitch Albom said, he didn't say this, but Mitch Albom said, I've known Jimmy Walker for years, kept contact, have given Jalen his number, times. He was like, yeah, I'll eventually call him. And then when it was his funeral, Jalen did obviously attend, but he's like, yeah, I never really met him. I don't believe that one bit. And I say that because Jalen been in the league since 1994 by then, had multi-millions, could have, just met his father once or, hey, meet me here or whatever. It was just something just kind of wild that I never believed that he said.
My bad. I was reading something, so I kind of missed what you were saying. But I'm sorry. You're saying Jalen Rose's story is supposedly he never met his father?
Yeah. You think that's BS too, like I do.
That doesn't sound. The reason that don't sound right is because typically, if the dad makes it to the NBA and the son makes it to the NBA, that was normally.
He made the NBA with NBA. He made the All-Star game with Dave Bing, and when Dave Bing was the mayor of Detroit, he would be kind of nudging Jay, "Hey man, Jimmy's okay," or whatever, and Jalen would play it on TV that he never saw his father, never met him. And as I said, Mitch Albom says from his mouth, he directly gave him the number or whatever. But I do believe that they've met, before, at least had a conversation. And I don't know, for whatever reason, Jalen just don't go public with that. I don't know. This is kind of interesting, like how his name creation is to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. And now listen, you can look up any NBA son and father. That father basically guided him all the way to the NBA. It's very rare that you see that where they had no contact with each other and they both made it. And that speaks to one of GC's points about the genetics, where you'll see that boy got got world-class athlete genetics, but on draft day, how the mama, the sisters, and every woman around him overweight. Y'all got the same, y'all from the same genetic gene pool. Like, he should be sitting next to some people that at least look like they ran track in high school. Like, I'm just like, damn.
Oh, I was shocked. I was shocked to find out Kevin Durant's dad was involved with him.
Oh,
you mean the wasn't involved?
Was a reporter made the comment that, you know, now he's in Brooklyn with the Nets. His dad lives on the East Coast. Before, he was like always all the way out in Oklahoma City. But his dad, you know, would, you know, always, you know, pay his child support and go and see his kids and take them, you know, to their practices and stuff like that. And the reporter said, yeah, I saw Kevin Durant's dad in the arena. And, you know, I went up and talked to him. And so he went on about how he had this conversation about what was going on with the Nets with Kevin Durant's dad in the arena.
It kind of ties into this.
They raise you to love them unconditionally and hate the father.
For those that don't know, Kevin Durant, he's the one who's famous. You know that meme that was going around saying you the real MVP. And that's what he said about to his mom. You know, when he won MVP, he was like, "You the real MVP," and he talked about everything that the mom did for him and all of this and all of that. Like it was spoken about in a way to where if somebody would have asked me, was Kevin Durant's dad in his life at all, I would have said no. I would. It was like, so it's interesting when you do. You know what? I do remember. I think Tommy Sotomayor talked about that when it leaked out. That probably thinking of something else, but I think I do remember that story. I just forgot about it. That it turned out that his dad was in his life. They don't get a dad no props.
That's what I was.
They don't. They give the dad zero props at all. And like, as I always tell the story about how D Wade would have never even made it to the NBA if he didn't go move in with his dad when he was about 9 years old. Dad taught him how to play basketball. The older brothers, you know, he was the youngest. They out there roughing him up. The dad, the older brothers, they basically got him NBA ready. The mom was was doing crack in front of him, you know, and ended up getting locked up. And that's how he got sent to go live with his dad. And his dad basically got him on the right path to, you know, to make it to the NBA. But it was a falling out because I think it was some going on with the dad and the new woman. I think it may have been a little bit of domestic violence or something going on in there. So he moved out his senior year in high school and never talked to his dad again until he was like 10 years in the NBA. And had to have his own sons and go through some baby mama drama before he finally called up his dad, like, "Hey, my bad. you weren't so bad after all, you know." And but the mom who was smoking crack in front of him and never saw him play basketball until like his last game in college, got to sit there next to him on draft day. And I call it the, you know, after he got, you know, with the fifth pick in the NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Dwayne Wade, and she got the big hug and the kiss that washed away all the sins. Well, meanwhile, the dad he didn't talk to for 10 years after that. Like that's how it is when it comes to that. This I don't know that this whole psychosis boys grow up under, like, not even when the dad is there, they don't respect it. It's just all the love, worship, and adoration goes to the mom, whether she's a good mom or not. The dad makes one mistake, he's done. That's how it be.
Well, it's isolation. They isolate the boys. First of all, the dad is rarely the dad. You know, like they replace the dad immediately with the stepdad, which means that you're tied to him, not by blood. So the tie to her is always going to be stronger. You know, and he's not tied to you by blood, the stepfather. So she makes a household immediately where everybody has a greater tie to her than they do to each other, you know, and that's why we have this stepdad dynamic and stuff like that. And it's also what the teacher was talking about. You know, Kevin Durant is who the teacher was talking about. She's seen these boys go through the process of bitch assness. And I don't care about his you know, because he's the guy in the Warriors with the little fat mama, right?
Well, not anymore, but yes.
No, not anymore. No, but he was in the Warriors, and he has the little fat mama who yeah, I remember that. I remember that because we played that in my house, not in my house, but in my family house. because it's local. But and she grabbed him by the beard, and what kind of
had
crap
his
was that?
face.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? You know, she looked like something you kicked through a field goal post, and she wasn't even wearing like the team colors. She was just there in a cheap denim outfit. She's an awful human being. You know, she is. No, she's an awful human being, and that's what they do. But they put the kids through these processes so that they can deify themselves. And the teacher pointed that out. Yes, it was unprofessional, but it needed to be done. And I think she knew it. I think she says, you know something, I'm gonna leave this job, but before I do, I'm gonna give society and these mamas, shout out to Prophet of Thought, these Black mamas, a piece of my mind before I go. Yeah.
Old mamas.
Oh, old mamas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they old in the motherfucker too. Yeah, exactly.
Particularly for football.
Nice Friday reference that flew over everybody's head.
Particularly for basketball and definitely football. I sincerely think that these guys, particularly the bigger guys, sign these kind of. I know this is tinfoil hat or whatever, but they sign these pacts where if they don't have the greatest relationship with their fathers, they deliberately they'll agree to not them being promoted and such. Now I know that Brooke. Little shot at Russell Westbrook or whatever. I know that he's got a good relationship with his father, but I'll never forget the year that he won the MVP and they were showing the ceremony. His father was literally sitting right next to him and his mother was on the other side. And you know how sometimes they'll pan on the whole family? They were deliberately just panning on him and his mother. And when he hugged his father, they immediately panned over. But then when he hugged his mother, they kept the camera there. You can look this up and it's like, damn, they really don't want to show that this man had a relationship with his father before he accepts being the damn MVP of the league. This is amazing, but this all just ties back to what you had said about Jalen Rose. I said I didn't believe him that he never met his father. Somebody had said in the chat where he may have later on said that, but he was going on relentlessly for years that, I haven't got around to meeting him yet or whatever. And I'm like, that's such complete hogwash. I find it next to impossible that, that would happen. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just scanning real quick, looking at. You mentioned Russell Wilson by accident. I was trying to see. Okay, it looked like the Broncos are 2-2. I thought they paid Russell Wilson too much money.
That
was too long. That was too long and too lucrative of a. I'm glad he got his money. Go and stick him for everything you can. But I thought that was too much. I'm just looking to see how they doing. They start 500 right now.
No. They've been doing last Thursday night game. It was horrible. Westbrook Wilson took a beating, and deservingly so in social media.
Yeah. No, put it like this: they got one game they won. They won 16-9. Another game they won 11-10. Under normal circumstances, those are losses. Only putting up 16 points and 11 points. And then another game they lost to the Broncos. They only put up 9 points. So their offense is not working. It ain't working.
I know.
Most points they put up was 23. Yeah, I root for Russell Wilson. I want to see him do well. But
I hate to compare other communities to this, but it's fair. I think when you're telling me white people don't get in disputes, that's BS. I used to have to go to the courts regularly, for small claim courts for something that I used to do at one time. Man, they're the main ones suing each other for things, between family members. But my point is how often do you see a so-called white person's sister putting their brother on blast so it can go on the whatever World Star, YouTube, and all this? It's almost like she's not going to go into the Michigan state law. Hey, I was a resident here. I was receiving mail here and this is my mother and this, or, hey, brother, let's talk about this. No, she immediately going into that whole, I'm going to video his ass and put him on blast. Why do we, I know why we do it, but you got people that will rash out just, he could be paying for her. What, he bringing $2 million a year home from ESPN? That crib is already paid for. He could be paying them taxes. Wait a minute. I wouldn't care if he was making $20 million a year from ESPN. That's his money. That's his house.
Yeah, that's true. Who we got down here? It says Ultra Magnus says, don't ever pocket watch BR. No, we can analyze professional athlete contracts and whether or not they
Absolutely,
signed
they're public record.
whether or not they signed a good deal or a bad deal. He signed a damn good deal for him. And just looking at the way he playing now, the last 2 or 3 years of that deal, he not going to be worth that much money. It's like they paid him for what he did in the past, not what he's projected to do in the future. I mean, NFL contract should be paid for what you should get paid for what you projected to do, not what you did in the past. And what he's projected to do, I don't see him being worth that much. But I'm glad he got the money. And then he cut back and to say, hey, BR, I think you're getting paid too much. Now what? You're allowed to think that, but are you glad I'm being, I can say I'm glad Russell Wilson got his money. Can you say that? Can you say that about me?
That's a horrible false equivalency. Again, Ultra Magnus. What he does is what people choose to give him. Russell has a contract. Russell has a contract he agreed to, and yes, you can compare Russell to his peers in what they're doing on the field and what they're getting paid. We do it all the time in sports.
That's anybody who knows sports know that that's a very normal thing to do. Hell, I thought Kobe Bryant's last contract was too damn high after he tore his Achilles. They shouldn't have paid him that much money, but they gave him a payment based off, we appreciate everything you've done for us, so we're gonna take care of you even though you can't play no more.
Let me add one more. Let me add one more football to this. Why the hell you think Lamar Jackson did not sign that extension after he saw what Russell Wilson got? If he's doing this and I'm better than him, I'm gonna sign for a bigger deal. So yes, he's him and his agent are pocket watching like a motherfucker.
Yeah, no doubt. Black Merlin, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. He says Black women want to have options at all times, the ability to stay for benefits or bail when it don't suit them. Options are a must have. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Son is High in the building says her calling him an idiot indicates her complete lack of respect. That definitely got to get averaged into the equation. That was something that I tried to put a focus on in my whole opening speech on this, but he says her calling him an idiot indicates her complete lack of respect for him and probably been that way throughout their upbringing. I don't know if throughout her upbringing, but well, man, probably. I mean, that sounded like some festered up, just an overall disrespect. It's not acknowledging him as at this point, Grant, like she said in the video, the mama died, the grandmama died, and Jalen Rose is probably closing in on. If I'm 40, I know Jalen Rose got to be closing in on 50.
Jalen's 49.
Okay, yeah, so I knew he had to be closing in on 50. At this point, yeah, he's the patriarch and leader of that family. To talk to him like that is just ridiculous.
Agreed.
Like, I mean, you humble your goddamn self when you talking to that man who's paying for who's financing, who I'm sure financed a big portion of your life over the last 30 years. Humble yourself.
Ultra Magnus. If I show you that I've analyzed coach's money right now on a screen share, would you shut up your uninformed comments? He basically made a comment. Y'all don't be analyzing the coaches and general managers. It's only the black players. Dude, stop it, man.
Bullshit.
I'm the first person to tell you, Tuck, Michigan State Spartans got too much money for just doing 2 years for what he did in 2 years. I'm the first person to tell you that Josh McDaniels, who went for 2 when it was unnecessary 2 nights ago, shouldn't even be having a coaching opportunity, let alone getting paid. So please stop it with that nonsense. Come with a better argument, please.
Yeah, no doubt.
I want to point out also that that he called her squatter. Now that's a very unique and specific term because there is something that exists called squatters' rights. And squatters' rights is basically what we were describing earlier. The rights that people have to stay in your shit is essentially what it means. Like if you go away for a while and some homeless people decide to just get into your shit, they have certain rights. You can't just kick them out. So basically, he went through some legal, procedures and realized that she has some rights as a person that's been squatting in his damn house. That's why I'm pretty sure that's why he called her squatter. Also, I like how the Asian woman who was looking at the place, she was also trained to ignore her. Like,
observation. That was a great observation.
yeah,
Wow.
like honestly, like he was obviously ignoring her, and she was too. It's a training, it's a procedure.
He gave her, like, you know how you give somebody a briefing, like he's like, don't look her in the eye. You know, basically like when somebody's walking by a pit bull or something, like just be cool, relax, don't show any nervousness, don't look it in the eyes, because otherwise he gave her that kind of talk before he took her around his sister. Like just try to ignore it and act natural. You know, that's funny as fuck.
Now, okay, that's one theory. That's one theory, that he gave her a briefing. Another theory is that people are trained to ignore fat, black, belligerent women. I think like really stop and think about it. You know, like, you ever watch like World Star Hip Hop and you see, you know, a fat, belligerent black woman doing what she does? Like, are there Asian people gathered around, like, oh, you know, or is that just black people? Like, non-black people are just trained to ignore it. They're just trained to ignore the foolishness. They look at it as, okay, that's just them. I'm going to ignore this adult child. I think that that's what's really going on. She probably didn't even have to be briefed. He probably just said, you know, my sister lives here. And like, oh, okay. Like, and then she's seen her. It's like, oh, I know exactly what to do. I must ignore her.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, like, you know, I think that might have been the case. Like, you know, only black men really gather around for ignorant behavior. Everybody else tend to just ignore it, you know.
Hey,
KP from KC5 says, did you ever see Peyton or Eli's mother? What does RWS stand for?
Got me.
I'm sorry.
I
don't know.
I don't know all these acronyms.
What the hell? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
hi, Sister George. How you doing?
Sister George sighting?
Yeah. Women need attention. Anyway, Nate Dogg says.
Kill me, GC.
Nate Dogg says, to be honest, is it ignoring our fear? I don't really think that they fear them. I mean,
bullshit.
Granted, a B-dub is like, you know, twice the size of even a kung fu fighting Oriental woman. Granted. But I mean, I don't think that they fear them because they're protected by men and stuff, you know, because when you look like Jenny Ma, men want to protect you. So I don't think that they actually.
Yeah, but you still, I mean, you don't want her to get like 2-3 windmill punches in on you before somebody run to protect you. So yeah, they fearful. A loud belligerent, especially a loud belligerent big broad cutting up and acting a fool. Yeah, a non-loud belligerent women are scared.
Okay, fair enough. But for whatever reason, they don't give attention to it. I mean, they kind of recognize it as a cry for attention. You know, shout out to another person here crying for attention. They recognize it as a cry for attention when, and trust me, there is a theme, even in this chat room, of overweight black women crying for attention. Anyway, because they understand that exists, they are trained to ignore it, just like you're trained to ignore bratty children and stuff like that, you know, or somebody who's off their medication, like a homeless person on the street acting a fool. They're trained to ignore that particular type of behavior. That's part of being a mature adult, you know. And she felt protected because she had a big black dude there.
Yeah.
So no, she was just ignoring her, you know, just because, like, you know, I mean, and no matter what, they always have the one up on them, because let's face it, and I got a feeling that Asian women think this all the time. They just don't say it because of fear. And that is, the hair that you buy grows out of my head. I got a feeling that Asian women think that all the damn time. Christian, tell me if I'm wrong. I think that they just I think every time they see a black woman, they think that they like, damn, you actually, the hair that I discard the hair that I cut and goes into the barbershop garbage can, you pick it up and glue it to your head. I got a feeling that they think this all the damn time.
This is funny.
I think I don't know, was that Tommy Lauren or something? No, not Tommy. It was somebody. It was somebody who said, you know, I guess she had just got her hair done. She was like, I don't know if she posted it on Twitter. No, I know this was, if it was on video, we probably would have seen it more. But she did post it on Twitter, something like, I'm you know, about to go out with, you know, wearing hair that grew from the root, basically wearing the same hair that Beyonce wears on her head, but it grows from the root on my head, or so she said something like that. It's deleted from the internet, but it made the rounds for a few days. I think it was one of those. It was one of those blonde, white, conservative talking heads. So yeah, she said that.
Can I say something on a lighter note? Because dudes have been commenting about it in the chat.
Well, hold on real quick. Genuine Trucker Tony in the building with the $5 super sticker. Do appreciate that. And also Mr. C dropped a $20 cash app on it. Shout out to Mr. C. Thank you for dropping that $20 cash app on it. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who supports the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead, Sir Tice.
Did you hit the goal?
No, still, you see the ticker. You see the ticker at the bottom.
Oh, I don't know if it was updating or not. That's why.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, no. Cats are talking about Jalen Rose headline. Man, that is hair transplants and a lot of Beijing. What I found though on YouTube, man, they actually have channels going into like Jamie Foxx, Akron guy, and all this. It is insane.
Why can't you say LeBron James' name? You LeBron James. You're LeBron. Just say it. Hold on. Wait. Just I want to hear you to say you're a LeBron James hater. Say it.
Say it. Or I'm gonna say it like Stephen A. LeBron Ramon James. No.
You're a hater. You cannot say
no, absolutely.
This man is about to pass Kareem on the all-time scoring list, and he's about to pass Magic Johnson on the all-time assist list.
Extra years and all
in the same year.
And he can do. You know what? And that's why he's playing. But let's not make this into the Bernie basketball show that we're 2 years overdue on, sir. I'm still ready for it.
All right, go ahead.
You got that trophy prop. Where is that? You know, somewhere stuck in your basement now?
It's still in my basement. It's still in my basement. But go ahead. You was about to say. I think
these hair transplant brothers are very real. You know, I'm not. Well, Jay used a lot of Beijing. You know, it's. I've seen it. You've actually seen it drip off sometimes when you watch, you know, the pregame show.
Yeah, he got to be careful, man. Don't let them conversations get too intense. If you get to yelling and arguing back and forth with Stephen A, you're gonna see like a little black bead of sweat come down right there. So yeah, man, yeah, he did. Yeah,
that like, what is this Beijing they're talking about? You know?
I know about the Beijing. When you see somebody who's 50, but they hair just too damn black. They hair wasn't that black when they was 20. They shit is jet black. Like, yeah, no, yeah, you clearly doctoring that shit up. Like, yeah. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. 330 people in the oh man, Carlos Boozer was the worst.
Oh my god.
Jamie Foxx had a situation too. Where his hairline just went to hell. It was like way back here, but he lined that shit up so sharp, and it was like the weirdest shit, man. But he got his fix. He had the little implants or whatever. Yeah, they cheating the game. They doing the implants. It's apparently a growing thing. I think mostly in Atlanta. Dudes be, you know, if you look on Instagram, you see them damn they call them hair units or whatever the hell. Yeah, dudes be getting the man weave going on. What we got right here, GC? Oh shit, he kung fu fighting the I'm rooting for the sister. Get him.
It's not showing on me.
Yeah, I can't see that.
They're not afraid.
Okay, now we see it.
They ought to be afraid.
Rewind it. Rewind it.
I can't because of Instagram, but I'll show you the
Just hit
beginning.
refresh. Just hit refresh. Okay, I don't want to see her get choked out. Y'all know I got a heart. But
Shaolin style.
Well, she got one too behind cholesterol. But look. See, you see that? The woman did the first push. See, it's not afraid. It's just that
she did that. She did that to it. No,
good.
hold on. Don't they are tactical. She knew if she did that, he had to jump in. That was a I'm gonna throw the first hit and then step back so he will have to deal with it. That was what that was. If he wasn't there, ain't no way in hell she running up on her. You can keep trying to send these little bitty Asian chicks to get beat down if you want to.
No, okay. I'm just saying. I noticed that they react different when there's something at stake. When there's something at stake for them, it's easy to ignore somebody making a fool of themselves. I noticed that Asian and white people just tend to ignore it. But whenever you cross the line of trying to steal the hair out their shop, or out their husband's shop, then that is when they go crouching tiger on you. That is when,
Yeah, it was some videos. I mean, they was going viral. It was a good little, few 2-3 month period where they kept popping up where it was a lot of black chicks getting jumped in them nail stores. All them chicks, when they go to they trying to get out of there without paying for their nails or paying for their hair or whatever. And yeah, the Asian chicks, they squad up. They squad up and jumped on a chick or two. So yeah, I mean we have seen that.
Bernie,
but
you got some insight into this. Those stores must be making a killing to be able to tolerate that type of blip all the time. Knowing you're gonna get some quita, this is gonna start an incident. You would just get tired, like, damn, this is not worth the headache. So, I mean, is it that lucrative? And I'm saying this because you were in that business.
It's I wasn't in it in the way that they're in it. I should have got in it that way, and it's just still potentially on the table. But I don't know if they're making as much as you probably would think. It all matters on their margins. They sell a lot of cheap ass synthetic hair that ain't even hair, that just for chicks that they get their Popeyes chicken check, they come in there and they spend $20, $30, $40 and tax some synthetic shit on their head in the damn basement, and their sisters in the auntie's kitchen or some shit. I don't know how much they making, but I think what you're referring to is the overall rule of thumb. If you got a business in the hood, a lot of those foreigners, they do what our black business class don't want to do, and that's deal with niggas. So yeah, they open up they stores, they little corner stores, convenience stores, liquor stores, little meat markets or whatever, and yeah, they be dealing with some of the worst of Negroes. And our business class, they'll rather take all their business acumen and go work for some big company and make six figures instead of building their own stuff and possibly and having to deal with their own people, because they don't want that. They're like, I didn't get educated to go back to the hood and have to deal with y'all. So
I disagree, Bernard. I really think that it's the niggas that don't want to deal with you. Like
that could be as well.
Like just like this woman felt entitled to this basketball player's shit. If you own a shop in the black community, those people will feel entitled to your shit. They're going to say, how come you don't just give this to me? You got money. You should just give me this hair. You should just give me this bag of potato chips. You should just give me this chicken. You should just give me these barbecue ribs. They will come with that mentality. And then when you don't just give it to them, they're going to boycott you because they feel that you should give it to them. Now, they don't feel that way about other groups of people, but you as a black man should give them free shit.
Oh, tell me the story. Tell me the story you told me. You told me this off the air about
I'll tell you about Merritt Bakery.
Go ahead.
And those of you are local know Merritt Bakery. They're still around. They just merged with Quick Ways. But before I do that, I want to say something to Mike and Vince Perkins. Oriental is a slur. No, it is not. No, it is not. It's these fucking white liberals that make everything a slur. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the word colored. There's nothing wrong with the word black. And there's nothing wrong with the word midget. There is nothing wrong with these words. And there's nothing wrong with the word oriental. It's just that these assholes come and every year they like to change stuff up just to say that they changed it. African American, that's too many damn syllables. I'm black, motherfucker. How dare you try to tell me what I am? And how dare you try to tell the Orientals what they are? Or the midgets what they are? Was there a million midget march? Was there a midget Luther King? Was there a midget X? No, there was nobody complaining. Only the white liberals complain about shit like Oriental. There is nothing wrong with the word Oriental. God damn it. And that's why people are confused now. That's why people say, "Oh yeah, I got Indian friends and I got Asian friends." Indians are Asian. You're conflating the word Asian with Oriental, which is what the word means.
Did you say midget Luther King?
I'm just saying that nobody is complaining.
Somebody got to clip that.
Liberals.
I like midget million march better.
Million midget march. I don't know. That's what he said. Is it a million of them? I don't know why, but I just got when you said when I said million midget march, it's like my palm starts. I got nervous. Like that would be scary as hell to see a million midgets in one place at the same time.
In fairness to the homie Mike Perkins, I think I've heard, and this is some liberal shit, but I've heard that Oriental is fine when it's in reference to food, but because there's so many distinct Asians, it sort of puts them all in one bunch. Again, that's what I've heard, the explanation behind that. I'm not saying I agree with it or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm alone in that. To see if I see 5 midgets coming around the corner at the same time together, I'm going back in the house. I don't know, something is going on. You just never see them in packs like that. Okay, there, that sounds like Mel Gibson. A pack of midgets. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, anyway, carry on. Pablo, you was about to say something. Go ahead and say
it. No, you want me to tell the story.
Oh, wait, well, let's go to Pablo. We heard from Pablo in a while, so hold your thought on that story. But
on the Oriental thing, it was my understanding that Oriental was in reference to an object, not the people per se. But I mean, hey, Game Changer's cooking. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let Game Changer cook. Go.
No, it's the people that make the object. No, if an Oriental person makes an Oriental object, then that's what it is. It's from the Orient.
Woke says, "Great show, BR."
The Orient. Okay.
Woke says, "Great show, BR. Game Changer, keep cooking." Absolutely. But Game Changer, are you affiliated with Game Stays the Same?
No, I see him around. I see him around. He just
okay. And you're okay with him? Okay,
because
okay, cool. Just one. I didn't know if you was being trolled, but okay, cool. If you cool with him, he cool. All right, shout out to everybody. Tan, the answer is no. Even though the answer is no. That's my final answer. All right.
Oh fuck, I would. That's on my bucket list. It is. It's on my bucket list because, and not because I'm attracted to him particularly, but because my bucket list is full of stuff that I just want to do to say I did it.
It's a midget or two that got an Instagram page that's pretty impressive. You should check it out and try to see if you could, get her fluid out for you or something like that. I don't know.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm interested in before midget. To be perfectly honest, like a gothic white chick, a full ginger, not just a redhead. I'm talking about freckles and all. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff on my list before I even get to the midgets. But a deaf chick, there's like a whole list of stuff, and I don't really Instagram like that, so.
It's like a dartboard with a handicap logo or whatever on it, and it has deaf, midgets, and all this on your bucket list.
Well, it's rare stuff. See, y'all gotta think. Y'all seen the movie 300, and you seen Xerxes, and it was all kind of crazy crap in the tent. Before you die, there's just stuff that you want to do. But that's just me. That's my bucket list.
All right. Kevin C in the building says the sisters' disrespect and entitlement is a problem. The substitute teacher is right. These stressed out women and mothers cannot turn boys into men. Absolutely. That's yeah. She was right. Let me play.
Have you seen
What's that?
what Marquise Jackson has done since nobody was feeling his $6,700 rent? He did what his father did and spelt out entitled in cash. And my whole thing was like, dude, you can't even be original. You just responding just like what Kev C's chat says.
Yeah, I did a. Oh wait, no, I didn't post that yet. I was about to say, yeah, I did a short, did a YouTube short on that, but I just remembered I did it, but I just never posted. I posted right when we get done here. But the sisters disrespect and entitlement. What do you say? The substitute teacher is right. These stressed out women and mothers cannot turn boys into men. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that, Kevin C. Yeah. Hold on. Let's look at this. I'll shoot this by y'all because what I'm about to shoot by y'all.
Put them
I really
in
didn't care.
meal mentoring programs.
I really didn't care about her tone. She sent some tweets that we could debate whether or not you're a substitute teacher. Right? Should you be on Twitter talking cash shit? Because what she is kind of clowning on Twitter because they're gonna show some of her other tweets. I didn't even get a chance.
Oh, she's a substitute. Oh, she's not fired.
Well, she got
fired.
removed.
Huh?
Well, they said she was removed.
Yeah, she's not fired. You're always removed because you're a fucking substitute. Like that's
Okay, well, she just can go work at another school as long as they don't Google her.
She's gonna come back to that school. They do not fire substitute teachers. It's kind of like you can't fire an Uber driver. Like you could just complain because they're not like tied to anything. No, this is
they're tied to Uber.
Teacher.
Uber could
no,
say
these are freelancers. Like only under extreme circumstances can you lose your license to Uber and stuff like that. But yeah, she's not fired. I thought that she was a teacher.
All right, well, let's play. I'm gonna play the rest of it so I can hear her other tweets.
Like that, but for her to just come off and say something like that, it's just atrocious.
Now, online, a number of comments were defending Robinson, some essentially arguing she's a victim of cancel culture. Those upset with the substitute also flagged other questionable posts. Now, we can't see those posts for ourselves. Her account was listed as private this morning, but different messages screen grabbed by others appear to say kids need to get bullied. It goes on to say the no bullying thing is dumb. Another says these fifth graders never had a teacher from the hood I see. I will gather a child quickly and respectfully and still bring them to tears. A third appears to read, so when I look at my student who thinks it's cute being bad, I just wonder how long it's going to take for them to land in jail. Several other questionable posts were found on Facebook. Prince George's County Education Committee Chair Jolene Ivey used the words homophobic.
Oh my God.
All right. What y'all thoughts on that?
I mean, I like this woman.
Yeah,
I do. I like this woman, and she's a substitute, and that's why she's like, look.
Nah, she was JC the Conqueror. She was black. Just I heard a few people ask that question. She was black. You could tell if it was blew up a little more, but yeah, she's black.
JC the Conqueror. Come on, man. You knew the answer to that. No white woman would say, "Oh, hey, they need to be in the hood." They would never refer to the hood as the hood. My simple thoughts on it. I hate to sound like Little Big Nate, but it's amazing the things that you can say in school, the things, that are encouraged, you don't have to declare your gender. Those, you can be whatever you identify as. Those were problematic. What all she's simply saying is look, these kids got to be accountable, or the whole no bullying thing is, that's kind of like the modern rites of passage for boys, nowadays. Well, not nowadays, but you're not gonna silence bullying in school. It's just gonna happen outside of school. So I don't see what the big deal is, but all these, how do I say this? I think this online thing, the only thing that she's wrong in is, for some reason, with the modern woman, they feel that they got to put all of their thoughts on social media and then get mad when it comes and bites them. That's the only thing that she's messing up on.
I think that she's willing to take that risk. I think that as a substitute teacher, she probably has another form of income in the form of a penis, and she really don't give a fuck. And I appreciate her opinion of the matter. I do.
Shout out to Ultra Magnus who said this in the comments. You probably heard about this, and they were trying to pass some kind of woke agenda in Dearborn schools. And for those of you guys don't know, Dearborn is a mostly Muslim area. And man, the parents came in and were not having it. And basically came into the school board meeting. It was like, no, y'all not teaching this. You know, it was books that were talking about homosexuality and things like that for elementary kids. It's ridiculous. So you're right. When somebody's actually willing, I think you're going to have more people speaking out about this because it's getting exposed that this stuff is in the schools.
Yeah. Now, Christian asked a good question, and I did ask this question in my opening monologue. I brought it up. Like we was against Shabri Rawls, the crazy therapist chick. But with this chick, because we agree with her, we like, go ahead, do your thing, you know. So it is a difference, and I had to acknowledge a bias, you know. A chick going ham disrespecting black men publicly on social media, I'm gonna come out against that.
She's a chick
going. Hold on, Sir Tice. A chick going ham, disrespecting bad parents. I'm going to side with her, but I acknowledge the unprofessional nature of her doing what she's doing. And that's what I was kind of posing the question. Should she still, or do we understand her facing some type of penalty for taking that shit online like that?
No, I mean, well, she's not
but
getting
my bias is towards her though, because I agree with her.
No, she's freelance. She's not getting any type of penalty because she's freelance. She's a substitute teacher. You know, like if that she works for herself essentially. Like if that therapist chick was freelance, she wouldn't be fired. If she was out, you know, on the grind, getting clients, you know, by passing out business cards or doing commercials or billboards or some crap like that, then she wouldn't be fired either. You know, it's really the same thing. It's just that she had the decency. This woman here had the decency to not be tied to a school saying this. She said, she's like, listen, I'm a freelance, and this is how I feel. And
whose opinion do we hold higher, a CPA or a doctor? Okay. So in this case, you have somebody who's taken, I was going to say attorney-client privilege or whatever. Darn it, I can't think of the privacy clause that therapists and psychologists take or whatever. Basically, similar to attorney-client privilege. I can't think of it. One of you in the chat, if you guys can correct me, what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to hold a therapist to a higher standard than I will a freelance and substitute teacher. Not just the HIPAA standards. That's like private information or whatever, like specific to individuals. I'm talking about, you can't be like, yeah, I had this one person. He was such a weak ass motherfucker. You know, you as a therapist, you can't just go out publicly and say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, if you notice how in the beginning of the video, you know, the fat chick with no hair, she was also saying that there needs to be mentor programs. Notice she didn't say father. She said mentor. Bitch, you fat bitch. You see the thinking? You see the thinking of fat bitches, Bernard? That somebody else, a third entity, somebody who is not blood related or anything like that, need to come and mentor her kids for the free. For the free. That is what she's saying when she's talking about some of these government programs or these Big Brother or whatever the crap. She's talking about something like that when she says, "Oh, there need to be a mentor program." Every time you fuck up, you expect somebody else to clean it up. Just like this basketball player's sister. You expect us, taxpayer or charitable organizations, to donate mentoring because only one person will fuck you, and that's the person who gave you a kid. Like, you expect us to do that? No, you go out, lose some damn weight, and you seduce a mentor. You know, and Bernard, no, I talk to single mothers. If you are hot enough, your kid can get a mentor in the form of me. If you are hot enough, which you aren't. Why? Because you're fat and you ain't got no damn hair. So no, you go out and find a mentor on the free that you pay with your pussy, and stop expecting society to do it.
This is good.
And in order to do it, your pussy got to be worth a damn, you fat bitch. This is ridiculous. She's actually asking for free shit.
You know, she's just saying mentor because that's one of the buzz terms now, whatever, you know, whereas we don't want
a buzz term for free shit. It's a buzz term for give me free shit.
Yeah.
It's a buzz term for I want a free parent. I want an actual free parent. In the form of welfare, you're substituting the father outside the home. Now I want you to substitute the father in the home. I want you to send a man into my home and have him be the man of the house in the eyes of the children. What kind of crap is that? Do the government supply me with head? Do the government supply me with slim-waisted bitch to suck my dick? Like, and do I ask? Do I walk around with an unsucked dick saying that somebody needs to provide me with something? This is ridiculous.
For what it's worth, the substitute teacher chick, she did say, and let me try to pull it up.
Here. It was posted to Twitter last Thursday under the account at mostly under.
Damn it, I can't see it.
It says, Black women raising boys, please stop letting your sons pick up your female traits. I have an expletive boys in my class. I know you'll have some men around somewhere. This expletive is getting ridiculous.
Now, you notice she said, I know y'all got some men around somewhere. So even then, even though she's saying some stuff we agree with, she's still, you know, kind of on that spectrum of thinking that some collective group of men from somewhere is supposed to come in and help rectify this situation.
I don't take it that way. I take it that she knows that they got some men around somewhere that, you know, they probably smashed and whatever that could be helping them with that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That other men are supposed to be raising, other men other than the man that she got pregnant by are supposed to be stepping up and raising and doing stuff for these kids. And I always say, any man that would do that for kids that ain't his, that is a man who has all the signs, attributes, characteristics of being a good father. And so it begs the $1 million question that Black Manosphere been asking is that if you know how to identify him after you have a kid, you should be able to identify him before you have a kid, and then that's who you should be building a life with. But it's like they get knocked up by whoever the hell, and then now let's let me figure out where's the good man. You know, it's like, so that's the shit that I call that I always will call them out on. But
I look at it like they're trying to, they know how to find the men that they want, but not the men that they need. That's kind of what she's saying. That's how I kind of interpret it.
Yeah, no, I interpret it that way too. But I'm just saying that I go back a little bit. I make sure I don't put the cart before the horse and say that was when the decision making and game planning should have been done beforehand. That's what I'll always push, and I'll always make that point. So that's where I'm at with that. Excuse me.
Well, I think that she gave into the fact that these women cannot sustain relationships. So there are alternatives, non-taxpayer based alternatives, you know, and that is your brother, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, okay, it's clear that you're never going to actually find somebody that wants to continue to fuck you after post-nut clarity. So, you know, they say with that, there are other things that you can do without involving people who are not blood tied to you or the child.
Right.
But no, she's pointing out a problem in the situation, and then the chicks who interviewed are asking others to help. You know, we give me more shit is essentially what they're saying.
Excuse me. Looking up something. All right. So let's see. So analyzing the other things that she said in the tweets when she had said, what did she say about bullying? Oh, let me I gotta play it again because my memory bad. Let me hear what she said. Hold on.
Now, this comment got some quick reactions when I showed it to some parents in person today.
Come off and say something.
Comments were defending Robinson, some essentially arguing she's a victim of cancel culture. Those upset with the substitute also flagged other questionable posts. Now, we can't see those posts for ourselves. Her account was listed as private this morning, but different messages screen grabbed by others appear to say kids need to get bullied. It goes on to say the no bullying thing is dumb. Another says,
y'all agree with that? Kids need to get bullied. The no bullying thing is dumb. Y'all agree with that?
I don't think the kids need to get bullied, as I despise bullies, but
Mhm.
say that it's dumb is stupid because it's a part of life that you're gonna go through, as a boy coming up, in a sense, So when in other words, they're trying to block the no bullying in school, but outside of schools, those same bullies are gonna be bullying those kids. I know because I know somebody who runs a no bullying organization. I think it's kind of silly. I'd rather teach these kids self-defense than, no, you shouldn't be bullying. Hey, some kids come from bad environments and think that they can bully kids. Then when they get their asses kicked, then they, it kind of shapes them up too.
Yeah, Nate was saying he couldn't see what it said right there. It just said substitute teacher fired for noticing that women can't raise boys to be men. That's essentially what it says, because it looks, I don't even know if y'all could see the play and pause sign in front of it. But no, I'm sure y'all could see what it was written in the gray area, but the tweets, no, that's way too damn small. But yeah, so but no, we were just listening to that. But I don't know, yeah, the bullying thing. I mean, I won't go as far to say kids need bullies, but I mean, people fucking with you and trying to push you around and all that. That is a part of life. And I wish more people. I wish more people would have said, the best thing to do. And hell, I fought a bully in the 5th grade. But I think more things, and I threw the first punch. I was just like, fuck it. If you're gonna beat my ass, you're gonna beat my ass. Because it's kind of some bullshit when they say that bullies can't fight. Like, no, that's only in like TV shows,
TV movies, after school.
Yeah, no, bullies can fight. That's why they fucking bullies, because they can beat everybody's ass. Like, bullies can fight. Like, this bully could fucking fight. Everybody gave me props and said I won, but it ain't fucking feel like it.
Hey, top notch. You're not gonna come up. Top notch. If you're not gonna come up, whatever, on your comment, do y'all know what bullying is, or do y'all just sounding like fake alpha? See, they always be throwing this shade from the chat or whatever. Let me read the rest of that. I've never been bullied in my life. You know what? I'll let you continue, man.
Hold on, wait. Okay, wait a second. He said, do y'all know what bullying is, or y'all just sounding like fake out? Because I've never been bullied in my life. That statement is all over the place. He's saying, do y'all know what bullying is, or do y'all just fake alphas? That sounds like somebody who's sympathetic to the plight of somebody who's gotten bullied. But then he said, I've never been bullied. So it's like, what side you on? You just sound like you're just saying something to agree to disagree. I think we're having a sensible conversation about bullying and how much of it is necessary versus how much of it is bad. How like you can try to put things in place to prevent it, but you can never really prevent it. So it's like we're having a sensible conversation. What the point that I was trying to make it to is that I wish more people would have said, and the school could never do this, but I wish more people would say that, hey, sometimes if somebody is fucking with you, you just got to face the music. And if you get your ass whooped, you get your ass whooped. It's better to get your ass whooped once than to just deal with 4 years of elementary school of somebody fucking with you, or 3 years of middle school of somebody fucking with you, or 4 years of high school of somebody fucking with you. It's better just going to get your ass whooped once and get it out the way. I wish more people would have that talk with kids.
Remember I told you I know
just go in and fight them, throw the first punch if you got to, and just get your ass whooped. Yeah, there it is.
I was going to say, I know somebody, I mentioned about this no bullying thing. And one thing that I was adamantly against is them getting this no tolerance put into these schools. Okay. So whereas you have a lot of schools right now where even if you're getting bullied, you defend yourself, you're getting kicked out and all these things on your record. Whereas before, if you weren't the aggressor or anything like that, it didn't reflect on your record like that. But that's how we've come to. We don't want to recognize these bullies. We want to, there's a reason for it, or they both were in the wrong, when that's not the case.
Yeah. Kevin C in the building, he says the default responses to women experiencing behavior issues with their kids is take these problems to the child's father and not random black men. Yeah, no, that's definitely what it should be. That's definitely what it should be. take them to the fathers, not random men. And that's, that's one thing where I gave, some criticism to the substitute teacher that we generally agree with the spirit of what she's saying. I do generally agree with the spirit of what she was saying, but I think it always misses the mark to me when you try to say there ain't it some men somewhere that could be, no.
I just
drop
don't
them off.
think-
I liked the part in What's Love Got to Do with It when the mama just came and just dropped the kids off on Ike Turner's porch and then left. I like that. I was like, hey, that's what you do. Instead of bitching and complaining and, well, you need to send me some money or you need to send some child support or these boys need this, these boys need that. And you over here, you married to her and you taking care of these kids. You ain't taking care of, damn all that. Drop them off on his porch and leave. There it is. Problem solved. Problem solved.
Right, exactly. My bad, Top Notch, for thinking you're actually a normal, rationalizing, thinking person. My bad. I just read your last two comments. I'll charge it to the game. Move.
Wait, what happened? I missed something.
No,
kids joking or getting into fights is normal. A bully is a harasser. That's like saying you need harassers in life.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
All right. Hold on. We were teasing out the truth in what she was saying and the flaws in what she was saying. Nobody is saying, yeah, everybody needs bullies. She said that. I think we was divided on that, or had some. I disagree with. I agree with your analysis of what a bully is. In fact, what I just said confirmed. Okay, yeah. You he's just trying to get attention in the chat room. Right. I just said, instead of somebody antagonizing you and bothering you for 4 years of high school, 3 years of middle school, or 5 years of elementary school, it's better to just go ahead and get in that fight and get your ass whooped and get it over with, versus just having somebody fuck with you for your whole school career. That says that I understand that the bully is more than just a person you got into a fight with and you lost to. The bully is somebody who's literally going to fuck with you and make your life a living hell until you do something about it. So that's so clearly it's understood that I understand what a bully is. So cut the shit. All right, Kevin C in the building says, I fought my biggest bully and all bullying stopped. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, when I got into a fight with that bully, I don't remember. I'm trying to think. Now that I think about it, because I didn't do it. It wasn't that calculated of a decision. But now that I think about it, I don't remember him fucking with nobody after that. At least I don't think. I don't even remember him being in the. I know. I don't know. I don't remember him. Yeah, I don't think he was really bothering nobody after that. So yeah, it is effective to just go on and fight him. He may not win, but it's effective to just go on and fight him and get it over with, versus just letting somebody just completely just fuck with you all through elementary school. Yeah, it's better to go on and fight and get it over with. But all right. Good job with the derailment. What's the name? Forgot. I don't know. I can't even remember the Top Notch. Good job. There's going to come a time where heterosexual men are going to need to confront these districts. Yep. No doubt. All right. Oh yeah, we was rolling the not so beautiful or beautiful being footage on what the on what else you was saying. All right, so that's where we at on bullying. That's where we at on the bullying thing.
These fifth graders never had a teacher from the hood. I will gather a child quickly and respectfully and still bring them to tears. A third appears to read. So.
All right, so what y'all think about that? She's saying they never had a teacher from the hood, which implies she's using hood tactics. But then she said, I gather them respectfully, but still bring them to tears. What do y'all think about that? That she's saying she's on Twitter talking about she bring kids to tears with how she talk to them, deal with them, or handle them. What y'all thoughts on that?
GC, you there?
Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, that was just a stupid thing to say, because I don't think that it's really preparing, or I should say, hood things are typically of lower quality. even the teachers. So to say that y'all never had a teacher from the hood, that doesn't necessarily make it better. It probably would be worse.
I look at it a little different. She recognizes that when you're in the so-called hood, that your tactics do have to be different. So what she's saying is she's gonna grab them up, but then she's gonna make them care. When she says crying, well, I may be reading too much into it from her side. Mine again, only
you're giving her a lot of giving her a lot of benefit of the doubts because you agree with her, right?
Absolutely, I do. No, because we rarely hear this. My only problem, even though I'm kind of sound hypocritical when I say this, is what is the need for all this attention to always put your thoughts on these posts, on Instagram and Twitter? It's like they have an addiction to just do a brain dump on there. I don't get now. It's getting her in trouble. But as far as her sentiments, that's how I kind of see them.
No, I like the general spirit of her first initial comment. I dig it. I can definitely dig it, but but just nitpicking here at the tail end of the show.
When I look at my student who thinks it's cute being bad, I just wonder how long it's going to take for them to land in jail. Several other questionable posts were found on Facebook.
Damn.
See, that's the type of shit you can't put on Twitter.
Well, no, it is true, but her tactics isn't helping. Like, the allowing the bully thing, that is just like, listen, by allowing that, you're allowing this child to go on a path that will eventually lead them into jail. So
Courts Brown, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, she's all over the place a little bit.
What happened?
Courts Brown in the chat basically said, ain't nobody listening to him otherwise, which is what gives him the urge to go on these social media platforms.
Yeah. Very well. Tomcat in the building. Shout out to Tomcat. Says, I was fired by Uber because I've never seen a motherfucker slam a car door like a motherfucker without a card. You done had to go ham on somebody. They getting out your car slamming the goddamn door like they crazy. Yeah, I feel you. I don't trip about that much, but some people if you particular about your car, you cannot be an Uber driver. People getting in there with Rick James muddy boots, just shit all. Hell no.
Damn your seats.
Yeah, fuck your car. If you particular about your car, you cannot do Uber. Just forget about it. But all right. We at the tail end here. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who supported the stream, everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, did anything to contribute to this show today. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for supporting the live stream, like it says right there. And don't forget, if you're in the Detroit area on the 17th, that's Monday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Me and the fellas in the space, in the sphere, content creators, subscribers alike, will be meeting up at Barcade. I'm sitting there rambling for them, waiting for either RM or Christian to post a link to it. If you're in the Detroit area, come on through, hang out, we get together, trying to do it once a month, get together, top it up, talk, have some drinks, network, the whole works. So you know what to do. Come on, RM, waiting for that link before I get off the air. Waiting for the link. Wait for it. All right, they ain't with it today. But no, thank you for everybody. Thank you everybody in the building. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, GC, Sir Tice, Pablo. There it is right there. Right at the buzzer. But there it is right there. Thank you, GC, Sir Tice, Pablo, everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we are out of here. Nate, don't come in here starting shit. Awesome. Okay. All right.
Wait. What does he mean? Why does Nate have the word legitimate capitalized?
And on that note, we are going to get the fuck up out of here. Peace. We gone.